I know this bad girl with a scooter. She flipped my shit sideways. Summers off of fire escape, sunsets, sticky icky flowers in the blunt. Yes, I wanna get her undressed, hickey biting rough sex. But anyway, she don't pay me no mind. She just comes through the smoke for the daily unwind. And Miss Thang with a sideways ponytail talking, and I try to listen to her, but I'm holy grail stalking. I love it when she whisper my name too. Blood red hair, eyes crippin' a dang blue. Green weave falling out a loose brown. When I look inside her eyes, it's like I'm in a new town. Move around, I'm stuck, frozen. I feel my heartbeat, it's about to bust open. Why the fuck am I just sitting here? Cause when you leave the room, none of them feelings ever seem to disappear. It's been a year and some change, and it's clear that you changed. It's been a year and some change, and it's clear that you've changed. So why summertime gotta end? It's been a year and some change, and it's clear that you've changed. It's been a year and some change, and it's clear that you've changed. So why summertime gotta end? Some people chase drugs, I'm chasing memories. It's been a long time and I'm just praying you remember me. That phone call, your voice, it felt like 2 lifetimes ago. Time travel back, I didn't know that sunshine would slow. I've never been so happy to feel a raindrop. Cause when we're rolling together, all the pain stops. It's just the 3 of us, maybe 4 or 5. I'm trying to keep composure around them gorgeous eyes. I'm mortified that if I tell you how I feel, that it wouldn't be the same. And listen kid, I want it real, and it's an understatement to say it's complicated, but I don't really care. I'm getting lost in conversation. I've never been confident except when I'm with you. I feel like the world's at the bottom of my shoe. I'm still chasing summertime, I've been through cold winters. I wanna say I love you, I just choked the whole sentence. When you told me what you told me on that car ride home, you never felt the same way about the stars I've shown you. I don't know if you noticed it, but damn if I was crushed. And I choked those tears back in fear of damage in the rush. And I'm just rambling and stuff, trying to hide it, but you know it and I know it and we all know. So how south could it all go? I'm stuck inside that twilight, just looking at my ceiling while your face stares back. I'm awake, I fucking needed you, I'm gone. It's been a year and some change, and it's clear that you've changed. It's been a year and some change, and it's clear that you've changed. So why summertime gotta end? It's been a year and some change, and it's clear that you've changed. It's been a year and some change, and it's clear that you've changed. So why summertime gotta end? Couple shots from the bar, stagger home at night. I called your cell number when I slurred, you were so polite. I love your voice, but it feels so far away. I turned my ass around and found which way to walk today. Stumbled to your doorstep, it's raining, you would let me in. I said I wanna marry you, you stuttered like let's be friends. You're drunk, I'm not, I said I was though. Rejection was as fun as getting bellied by a snub nose. Uh-oh, another stain on the glass, like I need another friend, that's a pain in the ass. But I ain't really mad, I'm drunk as hell and on your couch now. My head is on your thigh, I'm thinking about passing out now.
You're still there, I'm impaired, you've been there, you know me, you love me, cause I'm gone and I'll see you later. I've gone away. I checked in, I checked out, I'm moving, I recognize like Uzi, Alushi. Now I'm gone and I'll see you later, but not today.
And why am I just sitting in the dark room? Your words can paint a picture like it's cartoons. And And I'm the punchline, and when it comes to crunch time, semester one will start soon. The pain doubles, hungover and foggy. And when I try to come over, it's probably kinda awkward, but the halo hung over is awfully suspicious. I'm off, she done did it to cross me, but fuck it. She don't wanna talk about it. She don't wanna talk about it. I can't run through with a dance, the sun's brutal, my chances all gone, the situation's all
I
wrong.
wake up, you're still there, I'm impact, you've been there, you know me, you love me, cause I'm gone and I'll see you later. I've gone away. I checked in, I checked out, I'm moving, I recognize like Uzi, Alushi, now I'm gone and I'll see you later, but not today. My head's splitting, wide open, and it's from sipping my potion. And life tends to kick divine motions. I feel my inner mind's hopeless. Nucleosis, I am one, I am mono, I am the solitude. I couldn't even write a rhyme or fucking swallow food. And bitch, you had the fucking nerve to say that I didn't try. You scaled my whole world back, I would've died by your side. I'm not a violent guy, but shit, I threw a chair or two, knife edge to the chest. Now why you going Ric Flair, dude? My head's still splitting, wide open, and it's from sipping my potion. I wake up, you're still there, I'm impact, you've been there, you know me, you love me, cause I'm gone and I'll see you later. I've gone away. I checked in, I checked out, I'm moving, I recognize like Uzi, Alushi, now I'm gone and I'll see you later, but not today.
Setting the parameters. That's really the hard part.
Are you talking about a video game?
Hmm? Takun, what are you doing?
Homework?
Then why don't you do it at home?
It's not cool.
You can do my homework too if you want, huh?
Your hands are upside down.
Huh? Oh. You should play baseball too, Takun. Why do you always carry around a bat?
Why do you always hang around here by the river?
Because you know. Oh? Now why was it?
You're in a good mood. You smell like cigarettes. The strong ones.
I haven't been smoking.
Mimi, why do you always do this?
Earlobes.
How?
If I don't do it, I'll overflow.
What do you mean? What'll happen?
Probably something amazing.
That's good. So how's this? How bad is it? What's the damage? Um, not bad? Okay, that's good. Believe it or not, that mic, the blue one, it doesn't work anymore. It's dead. Like, dead. Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Okay. It's fine. It's literally fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm not upset at all. I have the money to replace it. I'm sorry you asked. I'm using my camera microphone. So you're hearing me through the camera. So I'm glad you can hear me very well. It Oh, that's good. Oh, I knew there was something wrong. I so I got on my computer, right? I was like, this is good. I went outside, I hung out outside, I had dinner. Dinner was good. Let's go downstairs. You have a few minutes. Okay, I forgot you are on your laptop, so I probably shouldn't trust too much of what you say. I love you. But I, you know, came downstairs and was like, let's play a little bit of Osu as a treat. Did pretty good on a couple maps, blah, 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 whatever. I am exponentially getting better at the game. Don't even worry about it. Doesn't matter. But it kept, like, freezing, and Osu isn't normally like that, so I was like, top 5%, baby! That's the spirit. But it's not normally like that. The game normally runs fine. It's literally the babiest game I have on my computer. She is so little. But it was freezing, so I was like, that's weird. I'm going to restart my computer. It took forever to restart. And then it was like updating. So I was like, oh, okay. It's updating. Not a huge deal. No problem. So it updates. I get back on. Osu is fine. However, a Blue Yeti. She's so young. I hate it. Yeah, me too. Updates aren't my favorite thing on the planet. I'm glad that I don't have to deal with it a little bit. I keep getting annoyed by it being in my way, mainly because it blocks my keyboard and junk. I should probably just figure out a new microphone setup. I just don't know. What I'm gonna do. And I know my camera microphone won't break. She can't, because I said so. So we are going to be going like this for now. I'm gonna. She can't. She simply cannot. Because it's simply the will of God. I'm gonna put noise suppression on it though, because it looks pretty bad. Add noise suppression. Yes. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I mean, it's not that. It's just that you can hear the camera like whir or whatever. At least I could see it, so I just turned on noise suppression and it's fine. It even compresses me a little, thank God, because I'm hitting red. like crazy. Um, so God is real. I am literally no matter. Okay, so true crime, I guess. I don't know. She didn't last very long. I don't like that. I've had technology last 10 times her lifespan. The technology in question. Don't look at the bright orange duct tape holding her together. My tablet, she would never this bad boy, she'd never let me down. I've had this thing for at least 7 years. And I might be over exaggerating, but not by much. She would literally never. I love her. I did try to replace her that one time, but we don't have to talk about it. I've seen the light. It's none of your business. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I'll look into new microphones or whatever. But for now, the camera microphone is working. And honestly, maybe it sounds better. I'm gonna let myself think that for the rest of the stream. That this sounds better than the broken version of the microphone. But who knows if it actually does or not. Also, my internet is killing myself. You don't have to do that. I don't even know which one would be best. And early, it's fine. Shh. You're okay. I don't know what kind I would even want. I'd have to Google it. I'd have to give it a Google. Also my internet is on the fritz. Which is really cool. I think I said that twice now. Unless I said it in my brain. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. We're watching true crime. Okay, let's back on course. Here. Let me exit out of all my extra tabs. So you don't get to see those. Those are criminal. True. Yeah. I love you too. Don't worry about it though. You've got like literally a month to the day. Birthday countdown. I won't do that, or will I? Or won't I? We'll see. Oh shit. Yeah, I didn't even notice. Let me let you see. Sorry, I am going to be silent until I add the mic. Maybe cat. Hi, I love you. My mic broke. But like to the point where it's not even like sound bad, but like you can't hear. Also, I'm sorry about your hell. ADHD fun though. So maybe it's not all that. It's not fun. Or is it? Life is what you make it, I think. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna be silent for a minute. I love you. I will return promptly. I think. Oh wait, got it. Or do I? Okay, nope, I got it. There we go. Okay. She's better. Oh, yuck. It's still not fun though. I hope you recover promptly. Okay, new mic is here. Hopefully I remember to add the new mic to all my other things. Let me write that down. Oh man, wait. I do that. Stop. That's just relatable. This note doesn't need to exist anymore. Goodbye. In the garbage. Okay. Fix mic input on OBS. Also, good bingo remembering. I love you. I don't stop. Fix research mics. Oh, I also need to upload VODs. Good bingo remembering. Upload VODs. And I think that's it. I should probably post a TikTok, but I doubt I'll do that. Don't worry about it. It's none of your business. Oh, you like the TikToks? That's a shame. Okay. Anyway. Chrome. Okay, I've Googled JCS Inspired. Love you, Jim Can't Swim. He's our king here. So... Yo, okay, not that one. Not JCS Inspired, the channel. Oh. This one's very JCS Inspired. Yo, what the fuck? Okay. True crime is crazy. I like Matt Orchard. Have I seen all of this yet?
Playing video games and just...
I think I might have... Let me check. No, I haven't. Okay, we'll just watch this. I might... I might have seen a little bit of it as a treat, prior to now, but I'll just pretend that I haven't. Matt Orchard is fun. I like him. Unfortunately, I watch him a bit religiously, so there's not going to be a whole lot. Okay, is it because I have an ad blocker on? I'm starting to think it's because I have an ad blocker on. Every time I click on a YouTube channel, right, it shows up weird. Like, there's no banner. Love you, Matt Orchard. Yeah, I think he's Wiener Guy. He's Anthony Weiner Guy. We watched that ages ago. I absolutely... You can tell I refuse... Oh, wait. It's probably because I clicked there. You can tell which video I refused to watch. But... This one was an insane video. I hated that video. But yeah, he's a cool little freak guy. I love him. So we'll watch this one as a treat. I could literally just full screen it, to be honest. Okay.
Do if they want to work for SpaceX. Well, the first step would be signing up for the Marcus Patreon. I have access to enough people channels.
He does ads for himself, and they're funny, but I'm skipping them. Love you, ads.
Hi. I'm trying to get an appointment scheduled to meet with somebody to mainly just get a copy of the transcript and also a printed copy of a certificate that was earned and other degree verification.
You probably never would have thought you'd see a customer service call broken down on this channel. What's more, you'd probably imagine that if you were to, it would only be a matter of time before gunfire started blasting in the background. But not so. In fact, what makes this call, placed Madison Technical College on June 29th of 2021, so eerie, is you'd never pick up on the weight what you're listening to carries, without being filled in on the context
What's
behind
this
the
crime?
queries that are being made on the call. We'll bring
How Chandler Halderson didn't. I can do that. Hopefully that's good. It's called How Chandler Halderson Didn't Come Close to Getting Away with Murder. I'm just gonna let you guys write this out, to be honest. So
bring you up
I'm
to
sorry
speed
to
on
ask.
this
Okay,
as we
hopefully it's
make
good.
our way
Go
through
you.
the conversation.
Okay, for the degree, you have to download the duplicate diploma form and send a check or a money order of $4 for the diploma to be mailed
For
back
the
to you.
diploma?
For the transcript, you have to go online and request.
Yeah, I tried requesting them online, and we never got them. And I've spent I don't know how many times doing that at $8 a piece, so I'm not willing to do that again.
Diploma?
Why is not letting you request your transcript? What is it?
It's not my system, it's your system, so don't ask me questions like that.
He's so
If you have ever
dirty.
worked in a customer
He needs to
service
take
role
a
of any
bath.
kind, that moment may have elicited a sort of knowing grimace. A customer is irate, and perhaps for very good reason. But their anger takes the form of hostility toward
He's our
questions
true
that are
crime
designed to get to
buddy.
the bottom of the issue. It's irritating for sure, but in fairness, it's also something that most of us are liable to do, when we feel like we're being put through the same old rigmarole we've been through a million times before, which it can safely be said is exactly how our caller is feeling at the moment. Though as it will turn out, through no fault of Madison College.
Okay, but I need to establish the problem first before I can know how to walk you through to get it. Are you by a computer? So I can walk you through on how to get it?
Okay. Who's your true crime buddy? You have to let me know. I should probably not use my credit card bill as a what's it called? Coaster. I remembered. Boney Park. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. Okay, sorry.
I've gone through the process before. I tried to work with Daniel Spike to see if he can get through the
Ooh, red
information.
text.
I don't know if he's with you guys anymore, but
Daniel Spieth does not work for Madison College. Not anymore, not ever. He does not exist, though our caller does not know this yet.
it just seems like the ball keeps getting dropped.
Okay, I mean, it's pretty easy to request a transcript.
That's what I thought too, and
You just go to the
it just
website.
hasn't come through.
It doesn't come through like...
After a bit of more of the same
Thank
and
you.
some
Oh my
explanations
God.
of which personnel handle which records, it's time to look at the student account in question.
Okay, what's your
Oh.
first name?
More call.
Chandler, Chandler. Last name is Hal. D as in David, Erson.
The caller is not actually 23-year-old Chandler Halderson, but his father,
White man.
50-year-old Bart Halderson. Bart is not posing as Chandler because he's been asked to make the call on his son's behalf, but because, we can only assume, he's come to the conclusion that if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. Chandler has been telling Bart and his mother Krista
Looking
for
a
the
lot
better part
better
of
there,
a
Bart.
year that he's been on track to graduate Madison College's Renewable Resources.
I kept thinking he said Medicine College. He's saying Madison, but with an accent. Oops. Medicine College. Oh no. It's fine. I forgive him because he's funny.
Engineering program. But to their
Medicine.
constant frustration, Madison has failed to provide Chandler with his college transcripts. The reason for this is that Chandler Halderson has been lying. He hasn't actually set foot on campus since the fall of 2020, and hasn't
Yes,
so much as
college? I
earned a
mean,
credit from the college since the fall of 2019,
I think he's from New
when he got a
Zealand,
C in a project
but I don't
management
remember.
course. Between then and late
Don't quote
2020,
me on that.
Chandler did sign up for various other classes, but withdrew or flunked out of every single one. Since then, most of his waking hours have been put toward playing video games and just sort of hanging out.
Okay, so it looks like you owe
I
a
love just sort of
balance.
hanging out.
You owe a balance of $2,349. So that's why you can't request it. Hello?
Yeah. Can I schedule a time to actually come in there and
to be a criminal.
pay all that and resolve everything at one time?
Yeah, the payment center is open, yes. You can come in. Somebody will be there.
Note the lack of any response from Bart Holderson to the effect of 2000 and what? What is the meaning of this? Instead, just a period of silence before going straight to how he can get everything paid up. That anger you heard at the start of the call has vanished into thin air, never to be heard again. Which leads
I
us
didn't
to
even think
believe
about
that
that.
Bart, maybe unconsciously, had a hunch Chandler had been lying to him before he even dialed in. But there's a big difference between suspecting and knowing. And the revelation of an over $2,000 balance that his son never told him about seems to have put Bart over that line. And so he begins asking questions designed to clarify to just what extent Chandler's lies go.
How long can they do an unofficial transcript?
Yes, if you have to pay the balance, though. You have to pay the balance first.
Okay. Now, how long does it take to do an unofficial transcript from you guys?
Right away. You can download it. It's a PDF that you can download right away.
Now, if you've earned a certificate, say, in that solar program,
If you earned a certificate,
The solar program that Bart is referring to would be a course on solar photovoltaic technology
Okay, let
Chandler
us speak
took
for
in
a
the
second.
spring of 2018, which he passed with a C and received 3 credits for, and or a course on photovoltaic installation he took in the summer of 2018, which he passed with an A and received 1 credit for. He never accumulated enough credits, however, to earn a certificate in solar or any other area.
yeah.
I don't see that you earned a certificate. There were no, like, you were taking IT classes, right? I don't see that you were in a program.
But prior to the IT, there was a solar program too.
Yeah, but I don't see that you were Chandler, Anderson. The account I'm looking at, there was no, like, there was no.
How far back does that account go that you're looking at? Like when it was the first class taken?
Okay, I can.
I forgive him though.
18, spring of 2018.
Oh, okay. So
All right,
that
Matt,
does
let's-
have all the history then.
Yeah, but I
8
don't
minutes
see
of
that
this
you
call.
were
Oh God.
admitted,
So much.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
said I don't see that you were admitted in any program.
Masculine urge just cool crime show. Come
You said
on. We
the
want
IT
crime.
degree
We're
is
tired
in
of
there,
the
right?
lying about
As you
college.
probably would have guessed at this point, Chandler does not have any sort of IT degree. He enrolled in several IT courses throughout 2019 and 2020, but withdrew or flunked out of every single one. He's never even been enrolled in a degree program at Madison College. For anything.
No,
for him.
those are just classes. Like you took general education classes and then the IT classes. You have the solar. You took a solar class. Physics, trigonometry.
Ew. Why would you take that
you
on
took
purpose?
General chemistry. Yep, you took solar classes, but you were not in the program.
Does the internship from the spring show up in there?
Entrance from the spring of what year? I can go back.
Oh, this year, 2021.
No.
You're like lying to your parents and you
It was normally show up in
signed
there?
up for
Yes, if
Complex
the
trigger.
internship is
Hello?
part of the curriculum, yes.
Do you have an Alyssa Brandt that works in that area or anywhere in the campus?
Alyssa Brandt is another made-up person.
Yay,
A college
made-up
counselor
people!
Chandler invented to throw his parents off the scent. He set up a fake email account for her, AlyssaBrandt54
Yay,
at
British!
gmail.com, and then sent dozens upon dozens of emails back and forth to himself and his father over the course of many
That's
months,
just his
giving
whole
a
bit,
litany of
probably,
excuses
so
for all the
far.
delays and providing the most basic of records.
What is the last name?
BRAN. I think it's T or DT.
Aside from giving Alyssa a Gmail address, Chandler left another clue of his deception, spelling her name with DT in the email address, but often signing off emails without the D. One thing you're going to learn over the course of this video is that
goofball.
Chandler Halderson is remarkably stupid.
You said the
Yay!
first name is Alyssa?
Stupid person.
Alyssa? Yeah, ALYSSA.
No. All the branch. There's no Alyssa.
And does that check non-teachers and everything? It would be anybody on campus that works there?
There will be anybody on campus. The directory will have anybody on campus.
No.
How about, does Daniel Spice still work there? SPEITH?
College advisor Daniel Spieth, reachable at spiethdaniel@gmail.com, was a particularly vivid creation. Chandler even bought a burner
I love
phone,
vivid
the number of which
a
Spieth provided as
burner
his
phone.
contact, and actually spoke to Bart about the issues he was having with the college over the phone. Bart Halderson would later note in an email to Krista how much Daniel Spieth sounded like Chandler. Even at that point, though, he and his wife
Interesting.
continued to let themselves believe the ruse.
I wonder who it could be, actually.
No.
And that's what we respect Chandler for, except for probably the inevitable murder we're going to hear about pretty quick here.
Right, well,
Who do you think it'll
And
be?
those
the
are the
parents?
last words Bart Halderson was ever recorded speaking. Shortly after the call,
Can't stop
he
living.
texted Chandler, telling him that he had spoken to a customer service rep at the college.
Maybe he wouldn't be so
Less
stupid.
than 48 hours after that, Chandler
Well,
shot
I have
Bart
great news.
twice in the back with an SKS rifle in their Dane County home. It isn't known precisely what interactions Bart and Chandler had in the time between Bart's text
Bart has
message and
died.
the murder, but it can be easily inferred that Chandler had come to the realization he no longer had any way to keep his deception going. And if his father had cottoned on to the lies about his education, it naturally followed that this would uncover yet more lies. For instance, if he had no degree, his parents would probably figure out he didn't actually have a job with American Family Insurance, a claim he'd been making for the past year. He'd had issues with keeping up with that one too,
Not
mainly
the
on account
job.
of his parents noticing that he remained flat broke in spite of his gainful employment. Again, Chandler made up a range of increasingly convoluted administrative issues to account for this, again creating multiple sock puppet email accounts to back up his claims. Unlike the correspondents from Madison College, the American Family Insurance personnel did not use Gmail to field business-related issues. They opted for Proton Mail instead. And once Chandler's parents figured out the insurance gig was fake, it was pretty much a given that they would soon realize so too was
Phenomenal
Chandler's
liar.
new job with SpaceX, that he was set to start in Florida but had
He
to
lied
push
about
back
being a.
due to a major
Oh my
head
god,
injury
that's
he
so
had sustained.
funny.
He hadn't, of course. If Chandler Halderson
Yeah, I
did
look
have a
at
fall,
SpaceX.
there is
He's
nothing to
every white
indicate it
man
resulted
ever.
in
That's
anything
so
more than
funny.
a bump to the head, which he vastly exaggerated the consequences of.
Wait, what?
And they were more
Sorry,
than
I
a bump
was
to the head
talking-
and did have a fall. There is nothing to indicate it resulted in anything more than a bump to the head, which he vastly exaggerated the consequences of. And they would probably conclude that if he wasn't an IT graduate, nor an insurance company employee, nor a SpaceX recruit, then he likely wasn't a rescue scuba diver for the Madison Police Department either. It would only take one phone call to Madison Police to reveal that lie, as they did not even have a scuba diving unit. So what
What
does
a
one
bad
do with
lie.
the prospect of such humiliating revelations staring them in the face?
Funny,
In
we
most
gotta
cases,
talk.
we would imagine they would just fess up to their lies, as there's simply no way to conceal them anymore, and get the help they need in dealing with their obvious psychological problems so they can start to turn their life around. But in this instance, as we've stated, Chandler opted to murder his father instead.
Yeah.
His basic line of reasoning must have gone. No more Bart Holderson, no more knowledge of deceit. One of the many major problems with this is that he would not have had nearly
No,
enough time to
dumbass.
hide the body before his mother arrived.
Yeah, what about your
or
mom,
explain his
dude?
father's sudden absence, even if he did. So when Krista Holderson arrived home a little after 5 p.m, he shot and killed her too. But not before
alright, that
texting to tell
explains
her to
that.
buy him some soda on the way home. She responded, "I can," smiley face. Over the course of the next several days, Chandler Holderson dismembered his parents' bodies and disposed of their remains by dropping them at multiple dump sites throughout Wisconsin. Not that there's any good way to execute this sort of plan, but whatever scant advantage you might gain from spreading out this type of evidence is going to be greatly outweighed by the additional...
I love the weird keyboard stock video. That's great. Love you, Matt. There's just something about her response being like, I can. And then that's it. That's awful. I hate that.
risks you take on with the approach. Each new dump site just provides a new opportunity to be seen by someone. And with modern forensic science, it's not as if investigators have to literally stitch an entire body together to identify who its various limbs belong to. You don't really need any sort of education to understand that. But again, Chandler Holderson is remarkably stupid. This is further evidenced by the cover story he concocted to explain his parents' sudden and extended absence to friends and family, documented in this off-camera local news interview he gave on July 8th, when Bart and Krista had been absent for over a week.
So mean.
So my last message I got from them, they were going to White Lake for the 4th of July. There's some festivities that go around there. You know, better drink prices at the bars, stuff like that. Or, yeah, White Lake, Wisconsin.
Put subtitles on here.
To my knowledge, they were going to Langlade County to a cabin, their cabin.
The reports from the sheriff's office say they didn't have a car or there wasn't a car with them.
Yeah, they were picked up by their friends. Okay. Who I never got the name of.
You don't know who. No. Jeez.
Jeez, indeed.
We gotta go back.
Yeah, they were picked up by their friends.
Okay.
Who I never got the name of.
You don't know who. No. Jeez.
Jeez. Jeez. I love jeez. So
Jeez, indeed.
Jeez,
so Chandler Holderson went with the story of his parents making a last-minute decision they told only him about to go on a trip to their holiday cabin. But he obviously decided it was too risky to attempt to vanish one of their cars. So instead, he claimed they were just picked up by friends he had never seen before, and his parents never gave any identifying information of. As cunning as this intricate web of lies may have been, it was not enough to throw Wisconsin's finest off the scent. And it didn't take long for them to confirm the worst. In the course of interviewing people that Chandler was close with, they learned that on July 5th he had made an unexpected visit to a farm property owned by a woman named Chris Lasai, the partner of his girlfriend's mother, Dulce Melanie. He wanted to use the pool. Though somewhat bemused by the unexpected request, Chris obliged him. Though a little while later, when Chris and Dulce went to use the pool themselves, they found the cover still on, and Chandler's car parked in a nearby field adjacent to a wooded area. Even more bemused than before, but still with no reason to suspect something horrifically sinister, they used the pool for a while before Chandler emerged from the woods, had a quick dunk in the pool, and drove off very shortly after. They just thought the whole episode was very weird. Authorities agreed and conducted a search of the wooded area on July 8th. Not long after the search commenced, they discovered Bart Holderson's torso buried under a pile of sticks. When running...
Not the sticks! Oh no, he's so stupid. Here, let me hold on. I think I've seen this far, but I don't. That's Chandler, I think. Just want to scrub to make sure he doesn't show any heinous pile of sticks. Under a pile of anything except dirt is not a good sign, to be honest.
Too low on time to dig a shallow grave, one has to make do with what they've got. And
I
so
guess.
later that evening, just hours after Chandler Holderson wrapped that ridiculous TV interview, police brought him in for questioning.
Yeah. I've seen some pretty bad ones.
Holderson isn't particularly adept at feigning
Aw.
innocence. One quick thing to note throughout the
I would
interview
wanna be
is that his
buried on a
eyes
pile
seem
of
to have a somewhat magnetic relationship with the floor. He will look at the detectives intermittently, especially directly after he's asked a question, but then that downward drift will start creeping back in.
Alright, so we're just going to talk to you a little bit more, okay?
I'm gonna make him a little hat while we're watching this.
Let's write some signature.
The other one.
Right before Detective Brian Shunk reads
What does
Holderson
this
his
mean?
Miranda warning, he makes an almost frustrated-sounding sigh and gives a weak qualifier of why they have to go through this.
Before we get started, just because you're up here, okay? So I'm just going to read you your constitutional rights.
I couldn't
Okay, so it's
either.
a Dane County
I won't
issued
do that,
card
no.
that they give us.
Because then I won't make commentary.
So I'll just read them to you right off the card.
Not that I
okay?
have been, but
We suspect the reason behind the
It's
awkwardly nonchalant framing of the Miranda warning is the detectives understand this is the biggest potential landmine they have to get over, because the very act of reading them is liable to alert Holderson to the fact he's under serious suspicion. That's something investigators want to downplay as much as humanly possible in this instance. Because they've discovered the torso, they already have Holderson dead to rights and can easily make an arrest. What they really
I get
want
taped.
is for him to share his false narrative on
There's some
record
on the
in as
front.
much
Hold on.
detail as possible to help them further build their case against him. Phrases like, "you have the right to remain silent," have an inherently confronting ring to them. So Detective Shunk distances himself from such phrases by framing them as just, quote, words on a card that he has to read because Chandler is here.
Realizing that you have these rights, or you're not willing to answer questions or make a statement.
Just need a yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yes.
the second
Okay.
one,
Okay.
so I'll just read it again. Realizing that you have these rights, are you not willing to answer questions or make a statement?
Oh, I will make a statement.
Okay.
So you understand them. You're willing to talk. Yeah.
Could I have the card so I could read it? I missed some. I'm sorry.
I can read
still
it.
having a little bit of problems. The third one.
All right, I'll read it.
We'll just start all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just read them all again. No big deal.
All right. So you have the right to remain silent.
Some have theorized that Holderson's apparent vacantness is an attempt to exhibit exaggerated symptoms of a supposed head injury. We'd wager his mind is genuinely going other places at this moment. As dim as Chandler Holderson may be, it's hard to imagine the notion he may not have covered his crimes perfectly has not been nagging at him.
Let's just go back to last Wednesday.
he has a head injury. You have to be
okay.
nice to him. He's mentally ill.
What time Wednesday? I remember it. It was kind of a bad day.
Okay. Why was it a bad day?
I tossed the ball and I smashed the glass
Okay.
with the dog. The dog's help. That
Chandler, what are you talking
set
about,
my
brother?
dad off. And we tried to clean it up.
Okay.
I don't know about him, but I got injured.
The glass
got
that
injured.
Chandler is referring to is that of the downstairs fireplace. Police, as well as friends who visited the Holderson residence after Bart and Krista went missing, noticed that it was shattered. Chandler's story about breaking it while playing ball with the dog is false. The glass broke when he was attempting to incinerate some of his parents' body parts, including their heads in the fireplace. He tried to get the flame as hot as possible, using methods such as adding oxygen with a household fan. At one point, the fire started to get out of hand, and Chandler attempted to put it out by dousing it with cold water, causing the glass to shatter. Sometime during the whole
He's
grizzly
so
process, he did in
stupid.
fact
What
cut his
is
foot on some of the glass.
happening?
What type of ball was it?
What type of ball was it? I know, that was really good. I wasn't going to say anything else. Because it was like,
tennis ball,
including their heads directly after.
Chandler probably should have picked something like a baseball, as it would be more plausible for that to smash through the protective glass of a fireplace than a tennis ball.
Not the tennis ball.
By the way, a detective at my house said something's happened, and while we were leaving, people were going inside. Is there a warrant for my house?
Should there be?
No, I'm just wondering if...
That was a very messy attempt to camouflage concern for self as concern for parents. Aside from Chandler's concerns about a warrant being totally out of place,
Why are you
even
giving
the
him murder
expression of
advice,
concern
Matt?
that, quote, something's happened to his parents related to the house is extremely suspect in the context of his story. According to Chandler, he watched his parents drive off with an unknown couple and has had the house to himself ever since. There is no way something bad could have happened to his parents inside the house since then if his story were true.
Okay.
Can we go in?
As far as I know, they were at your house and they were going to be there talking to you to ask if you would come up here and talk to us.
But Officer Haley just like walked pretty much in to the gate, you know, the gate on the outside. She just kind of walked in. I was wondering if...
Was that when you were getting your wallet?
No, we were.
Is that when you were
I was in
getting
the
your
car
wallet?
waiting to leave. I was just wondering if everything's okay because she said something's happened.
Okay.
And we need to go down.
I forgot cops could be
We'll find
women
out
for a
what that's about.
second.
Well, has anything bad happened?
Oops, sexism. Live on camera.
Right, so
My bad.
so Wednesday night, mom comes home.
Because this interrogation is more of an extended incriminating statement than an interrogation, there's not a lot to observe in terms of flashy tactics.
You know
Rather
how it
than
is.
challenge Chandler,
Wait.
the investigators just let him relay his activities in the hours leading up to, and days following,
Cancelled.
his parents' supposed departure. Some of
Don't
what he
cancel
recounts is
me.
made up. Some of it is
You'd miss
truthful
me
but immaterial,
if I
and
got
all of it is
deplatformed.
agonizing to listen to on account of Chandler Holderson's
Scott
monotonous
isn't here to
drone,
cancel me
which is
anyway,
why
so
you
it's fine.
might notice us being a little aggressive with the forwarding today.
Then we get
Not
Sunday.
aggressive enough, brother. You
the fourth.
had me listen to like a whole
I
ass
get called
phone
on that.
call.
Oh, throughout
Dude,
I've
can
called. I
someone
don't know
now?
the times though.
You would what? Forget your cover
Throughout
up
the
story?
weekend, I mean, but
Me
I called
too,
my
to be
mom, I
honest.
believe, in the morning. There's along those lines, and I get a text from her. It was a text message. It wasn't even an iMessage, so I assumed she said White Lake today. So she sent it that day.
Here's another part of Chandler Holderson's plan he botched in a spectacular way. He
made a
wasn't
little
quite so
hat.
inept to claim he received text messages from Krista that didn't exist. He did place calls to his parents' phones, and
Okay,
even sent
so
himself
nice.
texts from his mother's phone.
No, it's so
However,
funny.
he
Stop.
did all of this
True
within the
crime
confines of
hat.
his own house. So cell tower activity would prove that none of the communications
stay
that
on,
came from
but
his parents'
I'll
phones
present
originated
for
anywhere near the Holdersons' holiday cabin. And it gets
I'll make more
worse.
true
The
crime
text
things.
message from Krista that Chandler is referring to said they were going to White Lake, quote, for the parade, referring to the White Lake Independence Day parade. It was sent on Sunday, July the 4th. The parade actually took place on Saturday the 3rd.
Easily
I couldn't figure out where she
debunkable.
was. Because it was a text, there was no iMessage, so I kind of just like left it at that.
Yikes,
They said
yeah.
still alive.
Woo!
After
This
more
guy's
laboured
guilty,
detailings of his
guilty.
activities
Like,
over
they
the course
didn't-
of the days leading up to now,
Like they didn't even like he didn't even give himself a chance to not be guilty, which is pretty much the funniest thing to ever happen ever. Except for, you know, I also just made a monocle. Okay, sorry.
Chandler gets to the episode
You
when
gotta
he
give
visited
him
the
a little
farm to
pipe.
use their pool. His telling omits the stroll through the woods he was spotted making. He instead tells a story about having a breakdown related to his supposed health issues,
Sugar?
stemming from his
Yeah,
supposed
for every
head injury.
birthday.
Then I go up
Yeah.
to have, you know, break down by their shed and they go swimming. Right by the swimming pool is the shed, so they wanted to watch me. Like,
it's Chandler.
you know,
He did it.
break down and all that. So after I noticed they're just watching, I just walk over to them.
Neither Chris or Dulce ever described witnessing Chandler have this breakdown by the shed. According to them, when they saw him emerge from the woods, he walked straight past it, up to them in the pool. It will turn out he must have paid the shed a visit at some point, however. Months later, the rifle Chandler used to murder his parents will be found hidden inside it.
Oh.
Describe your breakdown to me.
Describe your breakdown to me.
I actually cried. Started kicking grass, just doing the toddler tantrum shit. Then I hopped in the water with them.
Okay.
So it was too late. I was in the water, and I realized Crest didn't have a top, and that was uncomfortable. But I talked to them more.
According to Chris's telling, they actually alerted Chandler to the fact that she was topless before he got in. But he, rather rudely, pressed that he was hot and sticky and would really like to wash off. So not wanting to make things yet more awkward, they obliged him. He gives a few other details about the afternoon and conversations he had with Chris and Dulce that don't map onto anything they've ever encountered. And
Chandler
Detective
gross
Shunk moves to
confirmed.
explore the
I mean, he
breakdown
murdered
detail
someone, so
again.
he was already gross.
Where are we?
Sunday. So you were swimming, had a little breakdown. What were you having a breakdown about?
You ever have your legs kind of? Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Just.
Okay.
What?
I don't even know if they're done eating
Chandler
as
himself,
bad
yeah.
as they can be yet. So that's not fun.
And I think you were telling me last night it's a symptom of a concussion, right?
So
is that right?
That's not it. It's a symptom of nerve damage from the hit to my spine. So it's permanent.
Okay.
You ever had your legs? I know. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
So it's just
He's
legs.
incomprehensible. Someone put this man in jail for that
Feeling
alone.
is probably colostomy bag down the road and all of that. But here we are Sunday.
All of that was nonsense, of course. It's just interesting to note
Sounded
how
like
Halderson
it.
has gotten so comfortable rattling off these sorts of sob stories that he's quick to share them not
lying.
just with people in his life who are inclined to take him at his word, but also investigators who are very liable not to. It will take very minimal effort, for instance, for a detective to determine whether any medical professional has ever indicated to Chandler that he may need a colostomy bag. After a few more inconsequential details, Chandler gets to the point in the timeline where his parents have not returned home at the time they were supposed to.
Then I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday morning. They should be here. No worried. I think I called my mom that day.
Nobody panic, but I got paper sitting there. Just kidding, just kidding.
Alright.
The paper is no longer stuck on my keyboard.
You talked to her?
No, she never picked it up.
It's always either.
It's always the voicemail. It's a voicemail. You know when you?
Yeah.
So it's off, out of range. I don't know the other factors that could give you that.
It's like a voicemail right away. Goes right to voicemail, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever factors can give you that.
So I might have missed it. So from the time like they left, did you talk to them at all when they were
I got a
up
text.
north? You got the one text
And I
that you mentioned
don't
earlier,
even like it.
right?
Yeah.
But that was it. Nothing else.
Yeah. So that's fishy to me, even the text, because I realized Memorial Day is when the White Lake Parade is.
Oh, sure.
There's no 4th of July. Maybe there's cheap drinks, but there's no parade of White Lake.
Maybe there's
on
cheap
the 4th.
drinks.
Looks like someone's done some homework.
So, well, maybe there is now.
No, and of course he knows that.
So basically, from the time that they're gone at the cabin and you're at home, running around.
Not homework.
You just had one communication with mom.
Yeah, that's kind of how
Via
I
text.
just assumed the amount of people, where they're at, and whether
Sure.
all.
Well, I understand. I'm just
all
making sure it
added
wasn't
up
more
to
than one.
Her not contacting, but this was the only text.
It's not. No.
Is there anything with Dad?
No, I wouldn't even bother talking.
That
to
is
him.
so silly.
He wouldn't use his phone while he's up there. He loves it.
Oh.
you know.
Did he keep his phone on when he's up there?
He's so silly.
Oh,
He's only
usually
crying
the
with
car.
Sherlock Holmes.
Because the conversation has now come to a period where less and less of Chandler's movements can be accounted for in ways that don't seem suspicious,
Thank
his
you.
stalling
I love him
tactics
too.
start to borderline on
Detective
comical.
Weekly.
We mentioned the fording today has been particularly aggressive. Here's a little taste of the sorts of stories you've been deprived of.
Oh no, not deprived. How
I
could you,
got
Matt?
coffee at a Quick Trip one day.
Oh no. Please.
No, I
Okay,
think
I don't
that
want to
was
listen to it
Tuesday morning.
anymore.
At Quick Trip, I got a coffee, and
At Quick Trip, you got a coffee.
I used my dad's number at a Quick Trip to get me the free one because it was the
Rewards.
Kruger Gold.
Yep.
I could have afforded it, but you know, there's a free one, and it's Tuesday or
I could have
it was a
afforded
Monday.
it.
I could have gotten $1.
Then I wanted
but
to.
it was full price, I believe, and I grabbed the coffee because it was a free one. And he hasn't used it for weeks, so I grabbed that at a Quick Trip. I couldn't tell you which one. I was just driving at that point.
When you use it's a rewards card is what they call it, right?
Yeah.
You just enter his phone number or
Type
something.
it. You type it.
Okay.
But I got coffee. Had to be, I'm
You got a
assuming
coffee.
Tuesday.
Just to let everybody
I got a free
know,
one.
he did get a coffee.
Sweet.
There's some more talk about things like that, friends and family becoming increasingly concerned about Bart and Krista's absence, and Chandler relays how family friends travelled to the holiday cabin, where they naturally found no sign it had recently been inhabited. It was at that time that Chandler essentially had to inform police that his parents were missing. Now the detectives turn the heat up on their questioning ever so slightly.
So you said you went to the police department to talk about
And
your
you got a
parents.
coffee on
Just
Tuesday,
tell
and
me
it was free,
what exactly
and
did
now
you
we
talk
all
about
know about it.
your parents with the deputies about.
This is the most
we're
important
making a
thing we've
report.
learned so far, I
A report.
think.
That I thought I had to do that at the station.
Okay. And you were reporting, like, what were you reporting exactly? I just want to write down and
Yeah.
have it on there.
They're missing this.
Okay. You're missing. Okay. Gotcha.
The video looked like it was like on, like heated up
As far
for
as
some reason.
as far as you know,
Oh, shit, it's furry? Yeah,
were you able
cops
to
are
tell?
also
We've gone into a
stupid.
lot of detail
Love
last night
that.
and tonight, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that you gave them as much information as you've given me, or do you think that we
You
kind of
asked
gone
way
into
more questions.
Yeah.
You even asked about my injuries,
Yeah.
the bleeding, and the fireplace.
Yeah.
You even asked about
the
my
sheriff's
injuries. I
kind of
I
gave
didn't ask you about
what
that
they need
coffee
to make
though.
reports, and you just asked about like home life.
Everything, right? Okay.
So you got more in depth.
Yeah.
I think. Wednesday here we are, and throughout the weekend
He
I've
didn't
been
even
calling.
take a drink.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Okay. As far as the blood on your foot, how did you clean that up?
Big goofy cut. I know, I was
you
thinking
got-
the same thing.
You had blood on.
With a little dry mix.
Okay.
Because she's in the baby.
And where did you get that from?
Cat let me borrow it.
Where's it at now?
Who knows? We'll never know.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Cat.
I don't know where it's at now. We just brought it back. Gave it back to her.
Did you use anything else?
Woman fear me, fish love me.
For the
On his
the
hat.
tiles and the
His
hard
lies. I see. Drinking on him a little bit.
floors. Just the big globs needed a little bit.
Thank you,
Did that
Superwife
seem to
Jet.
help get rid of
Wow.
the blood?
Not sponsored.
Well, it hurt my foot. That stuff.
Well,
But it didn't really help.
it hurt my foot.
It kind of just made a mess.
And when you say only on tiles, I'm trying to remember your house.
I couldn't do carpet with it. It
Yeah.
would ruin the carpet, right?
It would. I think so.
tiles? Are we talking kitchen? Because downstairs
Yeah.
is just like cement.
Well, when
What
I had
are
some
we
blood on the
talking
basement, I
about?
used the peroxide.
Did your dad get injured at all when the glass broke? Did he step on any or
He
anything?
sent me up, but I don't doubt it. When he gets mad, he's not thinking.
So we don't know if your dad got hurt.
No.
Okay.
No. But my best guess is that guy reached in the fireplace and cut off
I
his
think
arm
my
or
blood
something.
for me. On the carpet, you know. Because I can't sweep or wet jet the carpet.
Head pain? Do you guys have like Tylenol or something?
Not that it's a high bar, but this might be the smartest play that Chandler Holderson has made so far. Not confirming that his father's blood will be found in the house, but leaving some room open that it could be. Like if he just shoved his arm into the fireplace and cut it on the broken glass, which is totally the sort of thing he would do apparently.
Is there any reason to believe mom or dad's blood would be somewhere?
How can you give it the commentary?
Have they been injured at all that
Is
you're
being
aware of?
played in court.
My dad
Okay.
scratches his psoriasis till he like gushes blood.
Yeah, you know?
Okay. Gushing.
You gotta
Describe
get
gushing to me.
Enough to run down your leg, like cover your leg, I suppose. Like he has it on his knee, so when he does this, it just like drips down. I asked him to stop, but he doesn't do it when he's stressed out.
Yeah.
He just kind of like, it's his tick.
Yeah, probably itches. Does he,
Probably
like, does it
itches.
enough to get on the floor? Does it leave?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like how much, like, before we were talking the water bottle lid and the Yeti lid, is there, I mean, like, are we talking puddles like that?
The
or just
salami lid.
ribbons or?
Don't forget the salami lid.
Could be enough.
Okay.
But I'm thinking,
It don't
Yeti
fit.
lid if he's there and I don't catch him soon enough.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
My mom's blood,
What's up? Salami
just
lid.
from her bloody noses she
Salami
gets
up.
sometimes when she wakes up. So that's why we've been doing
Salami
the
lid don't
dehumidifier, or humidifier and dehumidifiers.
Yeah. Probably downstairs you get the...
We have
Why
either
would you
multiple
want
of
the
them,
humidifier
but she can't
and
be in the
dehumidifier
living room too long,
in
'cause
the
that's
same place?
dehumidifier. And if she does, her nose gets bad. Not like a regular one. She gets it bad.
Is there any reason
A regular
to believe that...
what, Chandler? What are you saying?
in either one of their vehicles there would be any of
I
their
get,
blood?
yeah, I get.
Their vehicles?
It gets bad.
Emphasis
Okay,
can
that's
be a
great.
funny sort of
Huh?
tell sometimes. The odd things that a person expresses a hint of incredulity at. In this instance, not blood in their vehicles, or blood in their vehicles, but instead, blood in their vehicles? As if it wouldn't come as a surprise for
Blood
his
in
parents' blood to
their?
show up in someone else's car. For what it's worth, Chandler doesn't have his own car. Shocking, right? And used his father's Subaru in transporting the remains.
Shocking,
so maybe we
right?
are making something out of nothing in this particular instance. It's just worth noting as a
Blood in
potential sign of someone who doesn't quite have straight in their head what notions they should appear flummoxed by.
I hate blood in their vehicles.
Maybe car trash. Mom's car trash would definitely the past few days. My dad's car trash.
Why would they have blood in their car trashes?
Well, my mom does the bloody noses with the air conditioning, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
when we
a
have air
regular
conditioning, my
bloody
mom
nose.
will have to
Okay,
use,
it's coming together. The dots are
big
connecting.
towels and stuff,
Yeah.
because in the
I
hot
pay
days you
attention.
can't have your windows open. You won't drive well.
No.
So air conditioning, my mom will have nosebleeds. My dad hasn't had them as much as she does, but he gets them.
Okay.
After several more minutes, the detectives decide they've gathered as extensive a statement as they can, and move in to direct confrontation.
And I'm sorry about
the background, I think, right?
other stuff.
I think so.
Bring your
I
mouth,
think it's time to
yeah.
start talking about what happened to your parents.
He's like,
The
perfect,
truthful
bloody
version.
noses.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. So we have like 20 pages of writing. We're going to start with a clean white piece of paper for you to start telling the truth.
Okay. What?
Because listen to me.
What?
This is the only chance you're going to have to tell us the truth.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
We listen. I can't tell you what we know, but we know you're not telling us the truth. We know your parents are no longer with us. Okay, and we know the reason why. Okay, you need to tell the truth. Listen.
I
listen.
love
You need to tell
when
the truth about
cops
what
start
happened, and just
getting
tell us
it.
why it happened.
Okay.
If something happened, if you were defending
Literally.
yourself, or if you just got fed up with stuff, you need to tell us the truth. Okay. This is your chance to tell us why. Okay. I'm not BSing you. Okay.
I'm not BSing you, dude. I'm not even BSing you, dude, right now. Right now,
So can we do that?
I am being on God no cap. I am not BSing
With
right now.
apologies for stating the obvious, Chandler Halderson is in a state of profound panic. This statement is the first of 4 that will illustrate that.
It's true. Not BS.
What
Me
happened?
too.
Okay, can
Look, you know what happened. We're not going to tell you what happened. You know what happened. You were there when it happened. We're not BSing you, okay?
I wasn't there when it happened.
My parents are fine, I want to know what happened to them, and I had nothing to do with it. This is the posture of a man who's all out of lies, desperately wants one more to cling to, but unable to figure out which one, tries all 3 in a matter of seconds. And then with the realization that from this point forward, the only response his lies will be met with is, "Cool story, bro, now shut the fuck up," Chandler Halderson proceeds to do exactly that, and is promptly put in cuffs.
Uh-oh. Prison for our guy.
When trying to get away with murder, the first step is to have an immaculate plan
Bloody nose,
thought out
pickle.
in advance. We've quite thoroughly covered how Chandler Halderson
Yeah.
fell short of ticking that box, so we'll move
How far
right
are we?
along to step 2,
Oh, Jesus.
which
This
is
has been going
hope
very
the
fast.
state really drops the ball.
Hope the
Obviously, with a
state
case like this,
really
that would
drops
need to
the ball.
happen to an
Shit.
absolutely farcical
Yes,
extent for a
I
murder
would love to be
conviction to not be
suspicious.
secured.
Maximum
But not
suspicion,
only did that not
please.
happen in this instance, the state of Wisconsin seemed to make a point of trying the case with the mindset of taking absolutely nothing for granted, dotting every I and crossing every T to convey just how absurd Chandler Halderson's pleas of not guilty were. We don't have time to play prosecuting attorney William Brown's opening in its entirety, but it is linked in the description, as it's worth watching the full thing if you're interested in studying what a superb prosecution looks like. One thing Brown does particularly artfully is strike the right emotional balance.
We will not be doing
With a case as gruesome as this, there's a risk of being perceived as cold if you stick to the facts so much that it comes across as if the human tragedy at the heart of the case doesn't resonate with you. At the same time, conveying too much emotion might make you seem unprofessional and less trustworthy. Brown doesn't fall into either trap, systematically laying out the mountain of evidence against Chandler Halderson, while letting his horror at the crimes and contempt for Halderson seep through with his pacing and tone.
Our job is to, over the course of the next couple of weeks, present evidence to show you the path of what we believed happened, which is that Chandler Halderson killed his parents.
Yeah.
That's Bart and Krista Halderson.
Let's go. You believe me?
I'm going to try to use
Let's
some
go.
photos as I talk
Oh.
to maybe guide us along. Some people are more visual learners, some aren't.
Some people are more visual learners.
That's Bart and Krista Halderson.
Okay.
A couple in their early 50s, living in
He is bald.
Windsor, Wisconsin. On a quiet street, in a quiet house, kind of in a quiet town. Nearly a week after killing his parents, but no one in the world knowing, Chandler Halderson walks into the Northeast Precinct of the Dane County Sheriff's Office and says, "I'd like to file a missing persons report." My parents, they just haven't come back from the cabin.
He's bald.
They were there this
I'm
weekend.
telling you.
We have a cabin up north. It's in White Lake, up in Langlade County. It's pretty far up north, a couple of hours. Who were they with? The deputies ask. I don't know. He gives this bizarre story of his parents leaving
Oh, it's Chandler's
in an
life.
unknown car, going to a cabin with an unknown couple, with an unknown amount of money, for really an unknown reason. So the police expand their search, and they start talking to not only just Chandler, people about Chandler, they start talking to people who were with Chandler that weekend. Specifically, they talked to his girlfriend, a young girl named Catherine. She goes by
You tell me.
And in
You're
one of
the
these
cops.
meetings, she says, "You know
Figure it
what
out."
was weird? Is this weekend, when I was with Chandler, while his parents were at the cabin, I left the house early one day, on Saturday, in fact, Saturday, July 3rd. And she says, he told me he was going to do chores that morning around the house. But when I looked at my Snapchat, I saw his location was in a weird spot. At 8:58 in the morning, when he was supposed to be doing chores on Saturday, July 3rd,
location.
I thought it was strange
You tell
that
me.
he was in what appears to be
I
a
mean,
forest on the banks of the
That's what
Wisconsin
cops are
River
supposed to do, so it's only fair.
near Prairie du Sac. The drones go up, the dogs go out,
Do sack.
the search team starts searching. Very quickly, and I promise this is as far as the photos will go, they find the remains of Krista Halderson. One complete leg, then somewhat farther away in another bush, a foot, a thigh. No more of Krista Halderson that's identifiable to her will ever be found. The police thought, this is just a strange location. Why would Chandler be out there? He'd been out there before.
Pretty sure it's definitely not.
And they started talking to people, including girlfriends of his in the past, friends of his. And they say, yeah, Chandler really liked this location out on the Wisconsin River. He'd go there all the time. It's where he'd go swimming. When his friends came into town, that was the secret swimming spot. And one friend even said, you know what? Last year he sent me a picture while he was out there. Kind of shirtless, hanging from a tree with a machete. I don't know. Didn't have a lot of significance at the time when the police saw it, but eventually someone realized, the tree looks unique. Interesting V pattern right there. The hollowness of the tree as it goes down. The way in which 5 of those branches branch off.
It's hang up, yeah,
the detectives realizes why. Something clicked. It was the exact location he ditched his mother's remains. What was this guy doing on his phone?
Oh, I thought they were gonna put it in a tree, bro. But
this is what he's Googling. Body found, Wisconsin. Woman's body found, Wisconsin.
What?
Wisconsin dismembered body found.
What?
Dead body found in Wisconsin.
You can't just Google
body
that.
found in
What are you
Milwaukee
doing?
River. He's searching for whether they found his parents. And this concussion he apparently suffered. He did go to the hospital. You'll hear from the doctor who was there. He said, yeah, he came in, he reported that he hit his head.
It's like Grace being on a watch list for checking if we should.
I diagnosed him
can
with a
make
mild
bombs.
concussion. And given what you're going to find out in this case, you may conclude at the end of it,
Watch list.
he never suffered any fall at all. When Chandler Halderson needs to think of a new lie to get out of the SpaceX lie,
I love the
Guess who
SpaceX
ends up in
lie.
the
It's my
hospital?
favorite one so far.
being doted over by his mother and his family with a supposed neck injury. This is
Taco Bell shirt!
year. Of course.
I have that shirt. You can't wear it. Luckily, it's not Chandler. It's me. No, no, shirt. It's everywhere. Someone if you, that's terrible. I don't know. My mom gets bloody nose. Oh
Chandler wearing a neck
no,
brace
not the shirt.
that no one told him he had to wear on the left.
Not that no one told
Now,
me
around
how to
this
wear.
time, Chandler
I
started
don't know
telling
until
people
he had to wear.
an extraordinarily bizarre set of claims. That he had a brain bleed, a hematoma, that he had spinal damage, that he needed his head drilled open, that he inability to use his legs at all. Couldn't drive. People had to do that for him. That he had nerve damage, that he needed to get a colostomy bag.
Another one of my
But
favorites.
most importantly, he couldn't go to Florida. The doctors had told him he couldn't fly. This guy who's wearing a neck brace nearly every day,
I thought they meant
late
fly
June,
an airplane. Like
2021, would have no problem just days later carrying large bags of ice out of gas stations to chill his father's cut up body in a freezer. And you'll note, no neck brace. And in fact, you'll note in this case, Chandler Halderson is never seen in that neck brace again after July 1st, 2021, when he kills his parents. So it's July 1st. And if any of you remember, 4th of July weekend's pretty hot this year.
Okay, thank you.
People in the neighborhood thought it was a little bit
Because
weird.
he is insanely stupid.
That
Hate that.
fireplace was going on. They smelled stuff. One person, this neighborhood's full of retired cops, but one retired cop said, I smelled like a barbecue, smelled like a pig roast. And he said that just not knowing what it was at the time, talking to the police. What stuck out to police right away was that little rock right there. They thought, what is that? So they pulled it off and they put it on one of these fancy police deals.
Fancy
And the
police
forensic
deals?
anthropologist took one look at it. And she said, oh, this is a human skull. He had burned his parents' heads in that fireplace.
What?
Chandler Halderson.
I mean, we already knew that, but
2021. He cut up their bodies with axes and saws and knives. And he didn't even give them the dignity of having a funeral or even a final resting place in one piece
oh, it's a stop.
together.
Thank
The
you,
remains were
forensics
scattered
guy. Wait,
across Dane County,
stupid.
in public land,
I'd expect nothing
on
less, really.
farms, in garbage cans, the rivers, and perhaps every ditch is a possibility in this county. You'll find the evidence in this case is overwhelming.
So, once it's confirmed that the prosecution is not asleep at the wheel, step 3 in trying to get away with murder is having one hell of a defense team. Though just as the level of bungling that would be required to not secure a conviction in this case is basically inconceivable, so too are the sorts of smoke and mirrors that would be needed to win an acquittal. If such a feat were even vaguely possible, Chandler Halderson would need attorneys that made Johnny Cochran look like Lionel Hutz. But those sorts of lawyers are very expensive, and as Halderson's inheritance and life insurance payouts were sort of an escrow for self-explanatory reasons, he had to just go with run-of-the-mill public defenders instead. We will be poking some fun at his defense, because it's impossible to resist, but in the interest of fairness, it should be acknowledged that most of the laughability here is owed to the case that his lawyers have to work with, rather than their own shortcomings as attorneys. In her opening, defense attorney Catherine Dawn
she's
shows
really
some
bad.
signs of
I have seen this
nervousness,
part. I
such
just
as
started
forgetting
paying
to pronounce
attention
the
again
L in
at
Chandler,
the time. Normally when I
Chandler
put
Halderson.
long videos on like this.
and fumbling proper syntax.
He's 23 years old, young man.
Okay, I took physical damage. So it turns out that I have gotten this far in the video. I just wasn't paying attention because I got bored up until this point. But I'm back. I remember this part now, and she is very bad. Like, if you hire a lawyer, make sure it's not her. Like, oh.
He likes to play video games, play with his dogs, hang out with his girlfriend. And he lived peacefully in his parents' home. He was just a normal kid. He is a normal kid.
Is
so
he like
what
20
did
something?
happen? What happened to the Haldersons? What happened in that Haldersons home? Remember those
He's not a
questions
murderer.
at
He
the
likes
end of this
dogs
trial.
and lives in the Haldersons'
When you have
home.
to decide whether the state has proven to you that Chandler Halderson killed his parents.
Chandler.
Because they simply don't know.
A kid at
what
20, yeah. That's grown.
They just told you what they think happened. We heard a lot of detail of the before and a lot of detail of the after. But one or two simple sentences.
She needs to be fired.
And then he killed his parents.
Of course, the before and the after can sometimes speak very convincingly to such a proposition, especially if the after includes Chandler Halderson being seen in areas where his parents' body parts were dumped. Halderson's defense is... Hold on a second, she's going to screw up another word.
Listen to the evidence from the perspective of a juror.
Anyway, Halderson's defense is making a play quite common in
Matt.
winnable cases. Not just leaning heavily into the standard of reasonable doubt, but insinuating reasonable doubt actually implies an even higher standard of empirically proven to the extent that no alternative explanation is even theoretically possible. Basically, if the murder wasn't caught on film, and the state hasn't provided you with the opportunity to travel back in time and witness it yourself, then they have fallen short of their burden. They're not allowed to outright say such a thing, of course, but that's the sort of perception that Catherine Dahl is trying to create when she asks insipid rhetorical questions like, so what did happen?
You're going to notice that many of the facts, many of the witnesses, aren't going to be hotly contested by the defense in this case. And that goes back to what I was just saying. 12, 18, 100 reasonable people can look at a certain situation and form a different conclusion. And when you're talking about a system where you need to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt, you better make very sure that you're excluding all of the other things that these facts could mean. What that means is you must resist guessing.
I am not guessing,
you must
brother.
Resist speculation.
Nothing.
You
She
must
said,
resist
"Why did you say that?"
storytelling.
It's a funny request, because to look at the evidence and circumstances in this case, and create an explanation for all of it, other than Chandler Halderson murdered his parents, would require absolutely wild speculation and storytelling. But one advantage the defense has is that they don't actually have to put forward an alternative explanation. They just have to undermine the state's as best they can. This links in with Catherine Dahl alluding to how the jury might not actually see the defense contest much in this case. Over the course of the trial, not only did they not put on a single witness, they barely cross-examined any of the states.
Cross-examination?
No, thank you.
No further questions. Cross?
No, thank you.
Any cross-examination?
No, thank you.
Cross-examination?
No, thank you.
Cross-examination?
No, thank you.
No further questions for now. Cross-examination at this time?
Nothing now, thank you.
Cross-examination?
None, thank you.
Cross-examination?
No, thank you.
Cross-examination?
No, thank you.
May this witness be excused and released. Cross-examination?
One moment. No questions, thank you.
Cross-examination?
No, thank you.
May this witness be released and excused.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
On the occasions they did opt to cross, they did not do so extensively. In other words, they made no attempt at crafting their own specific paradigm-shifting view of the evidence. This is because sometimes...
what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to basically make it seem like the person is insane or isn't telling the truth or is just wrong in general, untrustworthy. Like, you don't need to, have good questions to ask. You just need to make it seem as if they're wrong. You can make people look dumb. It's easy. I make myself look dumb every day. Just do it for someone else. Come on.
It is better to present no alternative story than a terrible alternative story, as the latter is liable to highlight just how inconceivable any explanation other than the state's is. Your best play, then, is to just highlight wherever there might be the smallest deficiency in evidence where you can. Quit while you're ahead, and pray one juror might make a mountain out of a molehill with it.
On July 8th, do you happen to have... You end up having a conversation with Chandler Halderson. Is that true?
That is true.
And you said you had a discussion with him about the other couple. Did you mean the couple that supposedly had picked up Bart and Krista?
Right. I said, well, have you heard from them? Are they missing too? And he said no, or not that he knows of, or something along those lines.
Did that make any sense to you?
No. I'd never seen Bart or Krista get in the car with anybody else.
And you say you never saw Krista or Bart get into a car with other people. It's fair to say you're not watching them all the time, correct?
No, absolutely not.
Thank you.
The prosecution used their time during the trial to put on dozens of witnesses, painstakingly establishing every assertion made in their opening as fact. Their closing was delivered by prosecuting attorney Andrea Raymond, and while we wouldn't rate it as being quite as pitch perfect as William Brown's opening, that's no slight on Miss Raymond, as it's a very high bar, and she still did a stellar job laying everything out and even managing to get a few jabs in as a bonus.
5:11 p.m. Chandler starts writing the following note. Weekend chores. H2O2 and lemon. So that's hydrogen peroxide, which cleans up blood. Door handles. Move your shit upstairs. Get a job. Interesting, if he would have just gotten a job, he wouldn't have had to do the prior 3.
The defence's closing was delivered by Crystal Vera, who for her part swung for the fences a little more than Catherine Dahl.
I think that was her destiny.
People don't like when I say those words, beyond a reasonable doubt, because it almost feels like a cop-out. And if you think that it's a cop-out, well, then your issue is not with me. Your issue is not with Chandler. Your issue is with the U.S. Constitution that says that without them, you don't have me. And without me, you don't have them. The first thing I want to address is sort of the obvious. She should have done the whole thing. Chandler lies. He told a lot of lies. Chandler is not charged with lying to his girlfriend or to his parents. There's one charge that has to deal with
better than the other lady,
her parent. that has to deal with lying. I'm going to make your life a little easier, and it's going to be a little unconventional.
Well, I'm
there
going to
are
stop you
certain
there.
charges that I believe the state has met their burden, and they have proved it beyond a reasonable doubt. A piece of paper that is signed, a formal piece of paper that's signed by Chandler to the Dane County Sheriff's Office about a missing persons that clearly is not true, this is proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
It does indeed seem unconventional to stand in front of a jury and tell them that you believe the state has proven charges of providing false information on a missing persons investigation, even though your client is pleading not guilty to those charges, and you haven't made a formal agreement to change the plea. It is actually allowed, though. And while Vera's emphasizing how ironclad the state's case is on those charges, as a means of making the case for the homicide charges seem weak by comparison, may be comically desperate, before laughing at her, you should ask yourself,
she really is.
What better play would you make if you had what she has to work with?
So now I'm going to walk you
fair
through
enough.
the evidence that I think that they skipped
She was
that
dealt a
matters for
very,
me
very, very bad
in
hand.
proving that first-degree intentional homicide was not something that they met their burden
Oh, you
on.
have no idea?
I first want to talk about the cabin. There is a cabin. There's no disputing that.
There is.
Bart and Krista went
They
to the
just
cabin
passed their
at
bar.
least 2 or 3 times a year, I think is
Congratulations,
what
guys.
someone
You're
testified to.
Go back to school.
It's possible that they could have gone to the cabin that weekend. In fact, you don't even know what their weekend plans were. Friends testified. None of them said, oh, they were going to come over to watch fireworks with us.
This much is not really enough to make Bart and Krista travelling to their holiday cabin that weekend even remotely possible, in light of what you've already heard and what Miss Vera is about to concede.
Those maps that we saw yesterday tracking Chandler's every single move, matching up with where the bodies were found and at the time that they were found, that's proof beyond a reasonable doubt. A bloody tarp and some tools, that's proof beyond a reasonable doubt. But that doesn't mean that a homicide occurred. Something awful happened to these 2 people.
What? Whose side are you on? She said, yes, there was blood. Yes, the bodies were found. Yes, there is hard evidence of him being at the exact same location, at the exact same place. The bodies were found. Chandler wishes he got the death sentence after this. Like, honestly. he was just hanging out. It's his hangout spot. Come on. But he's just a kid, so it doesn't count. Oh,
and
God.
the very least you can say is that Chandler reacted. But you do not know what happened. Do you know how Bart was killed? Exactly how he was killed.
Yes.
Do you know how
he
Krista
was shot,
killed?
bro?
Do you know if it was an awful accident? Do you know if it was intentional? Do you know if there was someone else involved?
It was Chandler.
You don't.
I do.
And that's a problem. You have to go back and look at everything and make sure that everything that you're discussing in that room actually came from evidence that you heard from that stand and not from the Google searches that you may or may not have done. I'm hoping you didn't, but I'm going to be realistic.
Openly expressing doubt about the jury's integrity to their faces is a risky move, but if she's right and causes one of them to feel bad about it, perhaps it will cause them to overcompensate with the amount of leeway they extend to her client. A bit of a reach, but if you feel like you can come up with a better rationale for the strategy, by all means, let us know in the comments.
What if I told you?
Oh no. Oh god.
You.
Matt
Any
would be a
minute, someone's gonna
phenomenal
walk
lawyer.
into that door.
He would have done
Someone
it.
from the Dane County Deputy's Department is gonna walk in and say, I found it. I found the video we were looking for. I know exactly what happened in that house on the 1st. It doesn't exist. But what if it did? Are you gonna be paying attention to, I'm gonna assume it's Mr. Brown, but are you gonna be paying attention to what Mr. Brown has to say during his rebuttal? Or are you gonna be looking at that door hoping that someone walks in?
The worst thing I've ever seen.
And if you're gonna look at that door hoping that someone comes in, you have reasons to doubt.
And just as Miss Vera predicted,
No
such
video
a magical video
pics-
did
oh,
indeed
it
fail to
didn't
materialize.
happen,
And despite an
basically.
impressive 2 whole hours
So
of
bad.
deliberation, the jury were not
Doesn't
able to
count.
find a way to avoid finding Chandler Holderson guilty on 2 counts each of first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, hiding a corpse, and providing false information on a missing persons investigation. On March 18th, he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
Goodbye,
And when given the
Chandler.
opportunity
That's
to address the
prison.
court, he remained true to himself, using the moment to spout absolute nonsense one last time.
So I went to
I
get a
wanna take
coffee
this
at
opportunity to
Quick
state my
Mart
intent to appeal
on
my
Tuesday.
If there are any lawyers listening and willing to take on my appeal, take a moment to please reach out to me. It's not that I do not have feelings. It's that I was warned to not show them due to the scrutiny of this case.
Cool story, bro. Now shut the fuck up.
Oh my god, that was really fucking funny.
When it comes
Shut
to...
up, I don't want to watch that. Every time we on Tuesday. Yeah, he really said. Good for him. Okay. Oh hey, Dave's Lemonade did one too. I love Dave's Lemonade. No, I don't want to. I love that Oh, okay. That makes sense. I remember seeing that part, but I guess I saw it twice, so that makes sense. I'm not tired. He's flexing it. Yeah, he is very bad at committing crime. Good for him. Dave is, like, very serious, though. Matt is funny and silly. But Dave... Yeah, he's... more serious about it, so I will not be watching any of that. Okay. Oh. Who knows? He's extra dumb. Like, super stupid. Like, disgustingly stupid. Like, thank God he's in prison so no one else has to deal with him stupid. It's... What? Okay, I'm gonna...
Southwest is 9.
She asked me to go do that.
I love the...
And I said I'd do it when she got home.
Do the click.
She said she, couldn't.
Click.
She said come return like, and raining is finally, nah.
Hi.
Oh my god, there it is.
Jeffrey is now about to explain his alibi. He claims that Melinda's son Kyle is dropped off every day at 3 p.m. Yet even though he is unemployed, he struggles to make sure he is outside on time to get him off the bus.
This guy's boring. Should I red tree crime, whatever the fuck your name is? Who's this?
Carlsbad 911, what is your emergency?
Mexico, police received a call from a man named Robert Early. He informed
Woman's rights. Okay. This one's short. I guess we'll do this one. Since I clicked on it. It's also a woman. I love women.
Carlsbad 911, what is your emergency?
Sorry about Master Manipulator. I love you. He was boring though. I have a feeling he was just gonna let the interrogation ride.
What is your name?
Yeah.
Early. I mean, I've talked to her parents, to her ex-husband. Nobody's heard from her, and she was pretty intoxicated.
And where are you at?
Gotta get my chapstick. Be right
Let me
back.
go ahead and have an officer come see you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Ow.
On March the 2nd, 2014 in Carlsbad, New Mexico, police received a call from a man named Robert Early. He informed the authorities
a
that his
robot?
girlfriend had vanished and he had no idea where she was.
Okay, yeah, we're done with this one. I'm absolutely not watching a robot. Richard Crime Bad, Jason's Inspired That. That one's 2 hours. We will not be watching 2 hours. Richard Crime Bad. Carl's Bad, what do you do? Bring my man, what do you do? I want to see the craziest interrogation I'll ever see. I'm going to release my bipolar. Unfortunately, that was 3 hours long. Okay, hold on.
911.
They love starting with a good phone call.
Outside on the front steps.
At exactly 1:28 a.m. on September 22nd.
I won't lie. I'm going to release my bipolar is... I'm looking. This one's so funny. Don't look at that. Oh, hey, it's a Darman video. Oh, and it's true crime-y. That's good. Dissolved wife in acid? Huh? Okay, it's hard to find good true crime. What the heck? Yo, yeah. That's me about, that's also me about, where is it? Aha! This one, the most disturbing interrogation you'll ever see. Seriously, and then it says, then I had sex with a corpse. You did? But, good croissants? I miss you, croissants. No, good true crime died with JCS. His stuff was really good. Like, real JCS. Like, this was awesome. I love the Jeff video. He was... Jim Can't Swim was smart, interesting to listen to, made interesting points, didn't let it ride too long, and if it was riding out... You haven't? Wait, what do you mean? I swear to God you have. JCS is, like, the guy. Hold on. Yeah, we watched the Chris Watts one. JCS, literally, I would kill for him. We'll watch The Legend of Jeff. I've seen it already, but it's a good video. But it's all about the... Yeah, those JCS! JCS... Literally the pinnacle. And his stuff is getting deleted like crazy, so I don't think he does it anymore. I follow him on Twitter, but they keep taking down all of his videos. I don't know why. I think you're just being jerks. But he was, like, one of the fastest growing channels, like, literally not too long ago. And, like, everybody was seeing, like, the thumbnail to, what video? Hold on, I'll go back. Oh, wait, it's literally... I literally had the other time. What pretending to be crazy looks like. Literally every single person ever on Earth had this video in their recommendeds. Like, I had never touched true crime before, but then this video popped up. And, like, not even gonna lie, I clicked on it. Like, I was like, huh, that looks interesting, so I clicked on it. And, my God, I didn't watch it for very long, because I realized it was gonna be kind of boring. I'm telling you, everyone had it. I watched Hassan watch it, but same thing. A little extra spice in there for me and my mentally ill leftist brain. Never hurt anybody. But then YouTube started killing his videos. So now there's some of them who there's some of them that are on Vimeo and daily video or Daily Motion or whatever, because they got taken off of YouTube. Michael Dreka, that's a good one. This one, that's a good case. Love that video. It's really good. Guilty Until Proven Innocent, also really good. I know it doesn't look like I've seen all of these, but I promise you, I have. They were through Hassan. Casey Anthony, I think I've seen that one as well. He's literally the pinnacle of this genre of YouTube. That's why it's called JCS Inspired, because he literally invented it. Because it's like the interviewing or whatever, interrogation stuff, but specifically, he'll do the click click, and then he'll stop, and then he'll make a comment on it, and the comment is relevant, well thought, well spoken, smart, and short enough to be interesting, or long enough but still holds your attention, and then he doesn't let the guy sit and talk for 8 decades, because sometimes I get bored. I love JCS. We might watch this one. If I'm gonna rope you into JCS, I may as well do it properly. Here, we'll do this one first, though, because it's really good and it's short.
Am I under arrest?
For now.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Like I said, I need to
JCS very
rights
good.
First. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay? Yeah, I'll explain everything.
I'm under arrest for robbery?
You are, but let me read your rights real quick, okay? And then I'll explain it all to you. Is that okay? Let me do that real fast? All right, Jeff. Can you read with me? Just read in your head, okay? Before we ask you any questions, you must understand what your rights are. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in the court of law. Does that make sense? You've probably heard these before, haven't you? Does that make sense? Do you understand your rights? Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? Do you understand? Do you understand what I read you? Do you comprehend what I read you? Jeff, I'm just here to talk to you and figure out what happened and move you on out of here, at least some of it. So do you understand the rights I read to you?
He took that literally.
You didn't do this robbery. This
Yeah.
wants to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
No, usually I'm
Sorry.
a prick.
He's so cool.
This is Jeff. Jeff is a heroin addict and has been for the last 14 years. He is 6'5", weighs 153 pounds, and has now found himself in the unfortunate circumstance of being charged with armed robbery. This is in the state of Georgia, so if found guilty, they will render him the minimum term of 10 years without parole, up to the maximum term of life in prison. Jeff has been through the system multiple times over, and he will know that if indeed found guilty, his sentence will be considerably longer than the minimum 10 years due to his previous convictions.
Jeff, do you understand your rights? Yes or no? I'm not asking if you want to talk to me at this point. I just want to know, do you understand what I read to you?
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Get me back to the cell. I don't talk to you motherfuckers.
Okay, fair enough.
You want a Coke?
Yeah.
You gonna be able to pop
Oh my god.
Jeff has become somewhat of a cult figure in the domain of interrogation footage. His recognition seems to have grown through his own popularity, as opposed to the notoriety of his crimes, like most others. Conveying the exact reasoning behind this can be tricky, as the interest in this character will no doubt vary by the individual. Yet we found the most collective reason
He's
can
a
be
king,
explained through a
dude.
single pop culture reference: the anti-hero. While the concept
Free my man, what do you do?
the
Yeah.
actual term
Robbery,
was created
we
through
can
the
forgive
realm
him.
of modern cinema, there's a diverse number of characters passing through the decades that fit the criteria. Yet perhaps the most textbook example could be the protagonist from the 2003 feature Bad Santa, a middle-aged man simply known as Willie. This is a character that lies, cheats, steals, swears at children, drinks an inconceivable amount of alcohol, and is generally extremely unpleasant to every single person he comes across.
Look who's here, Jimmy. It's Santa.
Fucking right.
Let's tell him what you want for Christmas.
Great.
I'm on my fucking lunch break, okay?
On paper, this is an extremely unlikable individual, yet for some reason, we root for him while following his story. Anti-heroes are flawed, as are we.
He's on his
Your moral
lunch break.
complexity
Honestly, I
mirrors
would have
our
waiting
own.
for that.
And just
He
like
was
us,
right.
they are learning and growing as they move along the path of life. Their mistakes make us think of our mistakes, and perhaps the reason we root for their redemption is the reflection of
cigarette
ourselves
butt.
rooting for our own. So you might be curious about the contrast between the anti-hero and the villain. One we embrace and relate to, while the other we despise and detach from.
Yeah,
Both
not-
are driven
not
by
full
selfish
costume,
motivations,
eating,
yet our
or,
emotional
like,
response
realistic
differs
Santa.
between them. The reason for this, while not necessarily obvious, is a relatively simple formula. The anti-hero must have a glimmer of humanity alongside a noticeable vulnerability.
Dude,
This is what
villains can
allows
have
the
that,
viewer
and I'll
to
still be
truly
down.
connect with the character.
To
It
be
allows us
honest.
to forgive them when they are unethical, but admire them when they are noble. It allows them to be angry, cowardly, and greedy, but also cheerful, brave, and empathetic.
Who the fuck is Thurman? Is that you? Is your name Thurman?
Yeah,
Thurman Merman?
yeah.
Jesus.
With
Thurman
relation to
Merman?
Jeff, while many
Oh,
of us
no.
can't relate to the feeling of being
Poor
addicted
guy.
to heroin for well over a decade, we can certainly understand the feeling of sadness.
Love
While
you,
we
Jeff.
may not be able to put ourselves directly in the shoes of an addict, we can somewhat relate to the adversity that comes with it, not to mention the
Damn,
incredible
yeah.
magnitude of the situation he is going through in this video. How he responds to this very moment is quite literally the precursor to his entire future. He is at a crossroad moment in life,
Love the
where
Coke.
on one side is the possibility of hope, and on the other side is the outright guarantee of despair. The long-term path he goes down will be the consequences of the short-term choices he makes, all of which have to be judged and decided on while going through the early stages of heroin withdrawal.
I need methadone.
You need methadone?
Yeah, you guys can get me that methadone or what?
I don't have any. Do you have medication for it, or I mean a prescription for it? Or?
No.
What do you need methadone for?
Cause I'm a fucking junkie and you guys, I can't get no methadone. I'm gonna go through withdrawal here in a minute.
Where do you usually get your methadone from?
I don't get it. I get heroin.
How long you been using heroin?
Long time, buddy. What are you trying to talk to
He
me
is
about
so cool.
Talk to you about what happened last night.
Like, this type of shit
Look, here's the deal.
is, like, okay. I'm not saying I'm gonna become a heroin addict or anything because of him, but I aspire to be like him when I grow up. But without the drug addiction, probably. But he's just so cool. He's just like me for real. Yeah, drinking a Coca-Cola with no shoes on in the
Either you
police
in a
interrogation
bad
room.
set of circumstances, or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah,
Alright?
I'm in a shitty, wrong place at wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no fucking armed robbery.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I don't
not
have
keep
nothing.
up
I
the
don't talk
act.
to the police, man.
I think it's in your best interest to.
How? I don't talk to
you're
the
sitting
police.
Here, okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how
I know
it
you
works.
have. I know you have,
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to fucking get me. Or you're
No,
trying
I'm
to,
not trying to get
all
you.
you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not gonna get one.
Jeff, I'm not going to get a confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I
And
didn't
I'm
do
not trying
nothing.
to get a confession out of you.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't commit no
These are
armed
the
robbery.
police, yeah.
And y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house because my fucking buddy's dog's going ape shit. I go outside, there are cops everywhere, and they spotlight me. They say, "Come here." I say, "What's up?" They search me. They
What's
find
up?
nothing. What's
Let
up?
me read this.
No.
before- Yes.
Because I'm not going to sign it.
You don't have to sign it. But let me read it for you. Okay?
I'm not signing nothing.
You don't have to sign it. Let me read it.
You already read it to me earlier.
I know we did, but I'm going to read it to you again.
Thanks for the coat.
You're welcome. Before we ask any questions, you must understand what your rights are.
And here we have our glimmer of humanity. Jeff extends his gratitude and recognition of the
He's
small
so
favor that he
real,
has done
dude.
for him. There is no
Yes,
return benefit
yes.
for Jeff giving thanks to his adversary, meaning there is an element of selflessness and grace in the act. There may be considerable emphasis on the glimmer of humanity here, but all we need is a glimmer
Be
to
nice
know
to
that it's
him.
at least in there.
My man, Jeff.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yes!
If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one, a lawyer will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you
Yeah.
still have the right. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand the rights I've explained to you?
No.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's funny too. Let's watch it again.
Talk to a lawyer. Do you understand the rights I've explained to you?
No.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
Yes,
last night.
Jeff.
Plain and simple.
We gotta let him
Your side of
go
the
so
story.
he can commit more crime.
All right. This is what I don't understand. I know, but this is what I don't understand. Jeff.
I
You
told
were
you it's
sitting
gonna
there
happen.
talking just like you were ready to sit here and tell me what happened last night, and then all of a sudden I read that to you, and you screw it. I ain't talking to you. I want a lawyer. I don't understand that. What changed? Just in the
Because I told you what. I already told you what happened.
you didn't.
How didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I just tell you what?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you asked for an
I want a
attorney.
lawyer.
So okay, that's fine. But I will tell you right
He's
now.
already
you're still
talking
on
to
hold
you're
for
like,
robbery.
dude.
I know. I don't know why I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing. And obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coke. Put me back in the cell.
What? Thank you, God. Put me back in the cell.
All right. I know we did this twice, but I got to do it again every time, okay? Before I ask you any questions, I got to read your rights. You understand that? Okay. Go ahead and sign there. Let me take your jacket off.
Look, I'm not signing nothing. I don't want
Okay, you don't have to sign anything. You understand your rights, though, right? That's all I need.
Oh, just- yeah, he's very kissable. Jeff, you and your 3-pixel face are so hot.
That's fairy tale.
It's coming. He's getting there right now. He'll be here in about 2 minutes. He has to watch the soda machine.
Yay, Coke 2! Coke number 2! Let's go! Mm-hmm.
I have enough evidence
Like what?
of the armed robbery.
Like what?
Okay? But, you know, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, give me your side of the story. You got to, convince me. Because I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name the physical.
Well, I don't need to, why should I tell you that? I mean, you haven't been anything. You haven't been helpful to me at all.
You don't, because I don't believe that you got any evidence.
There's only a couple pieces of evidence I'm missing.
Name them.
What's that?
Name
Well, why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, now give me a little something.
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell your parole officer that you helped me
His
out.
constitutional rights. Yes.
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 There's no way. I didn't do it.
Jeff and the
There's
power
no
of
way.
that Coca-Cola can. He's unstoppable.
No, I was pretty sober.
So you're in your right mind. You remember everything about the night, right? So you couldn't have done something not remembered. You couldn't have gone and robbed the place and not remembered?
Fuck, no.
Okay, so you would remember if you robbed the place. So I'm willing to go to the prosecutor, I'm willing to go to the parole officer and say, this guy's a good guy, he helped me out. He didn't do anything. I know you don't want to go back to jail, right? Back to prison.
Well, fuck. It looks like I am if and you're going to charge me with some bogus shit. You guys don't, I mean, what What do you got, really? That I was at a buddy's house and I happened to come outside because you guys were fucking swarming the area and they
Which
fucking...
Which door did you come out of?
I came out of the front door. You know what? I'm not saying myself, man. I'm done, man. Fuck this. The only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
Okay. You're not getting out.
Oh, no. I can't finish it?
You can finish it.
Can't finish it?
I got things to do.
Butterfinger, you promised.
I didn't promise you that. I said we'd see what happens. Alright? Like I said, you haven't helped me out at all. Why should I help you out? I got you a soda. That's good enough.
Jeff was released from custody just under 12 hours later. And that takes us to the final and perhaps the most important component of an anti-hero, the conclusion, which unfortunately in this particular case is unknown. The final outcome of this story will vary depending on the source.
Yeah.
Some with a happy ending, others a cautionary tale. One legend has it that Jeff got clean soon after his release and now works in the corporate marketing team for Coca-Cola, while another states that he was picked up the day after for the same charge and is now facing down a 15-year sentence in Georgia State Prison. If we go by the Hollywood formula, an anti-hero's actions throughout the course of their life are so drastic and single-minded that they only ever lead to salvation or destruction.
Yeah, me too.
And their
I
final
want him to be happy.
decision is always dictated by what they have learned and how they have changed throughout the course of the story. The paradox here is that we don't even need the theme of imprisonment to mold the outcome of this particular story, as the theme of addiction is more than enough. Whether he goes to prison or not, Jeff will either manage to get clean and rebuild his life, or he won't. He is headed for salvation or destruction no matter what, and that single concept can perhaps define Jeff as an anti-hero. His outcome is a mystery, but either way it goes, it most certainly conforms to the anti-hero's ending.
Love that video though. Jeff, literally hard eyes. I'm gonna Google it. Jeff, this is 2020. Wait, when was this posted? 2020.
The definition of justifiable homicide is a killing...
Shut up. My new hero. Me too. But that's kind of crap. It just kind of shows that putting him in prison isn't going to help him at all. Because if he goes to prison, he's just going to rot in there. That sucks. It is stupid. Who the hell is this, dude? What the fuck? I just got a Skype message. I didn't even know I had Skype. Hello? Okay, anyways, alright. Jail. Oh, I know! I deleted my original, Skype account, the one that I used to talk to my buddies back in the peak Skype era. Jeff? Is that you? But yeah, I guess weird as fuck. Anyway, but it just shows how, like, oh my god, I'm not subscribed? Wow, that's a crime. But it just, prison doesn't fix things. Because if he's been through the system, and then is released, all he did was go back to drugs. And that sucks. It isn't fair. The legend continues.
Hello?
Yeah, you're the one.
Where? Is this Jeff, bro? Wait. Oh my god, they're keeping tabs on him. That's so fun. Okay. Good for him. He's famous. So anyway, hey, bye Jeff. Miss you. Okay, one more. This one's long. Oh, yeah.
The
I remember
definition of
this one.
justifiable homicide is
Hi,
a
Jeff.
killing without evil or criminal intent. It's a type of defense used in criminal law where the homicide of another is excused by reason of the offending party being under imminent threat of death or serious
It's
bodily
really
injury.
hot in
A
here.
homicide
I'm
in
gonna
this
turn on my
instance is
fan.
considered blameless, yet the ability to prove or refute this defense
Wait.
will often boil down to some
My
of the most
microphone's
precise
probably won't be able
technicalities
to-
that would most often be considered insignificant
forgot that I
under
had
different
the noise
circumstances.
gate on.
At around
Never
3:30
mind.
p.m. on July 19th, 2018, 29-year-old Brittany Jacobs drove to the Circle A food store located in Clearwater, Florida. In the
Circle
passenger
A?
seat was her 28-year-old boyfriend, Marquise McLaughlin, while in the back seat were their 3 children who were all under the age of 6 at the time. When they got to the store, Brittany parked the vehicle in the store's only handicapped parking space located on the side of the building. Marquise then got out and went into the store with their 5-year-old son to buy drinks and snacks. Roughly 90 seconds later, while Brittany was still inside the vehicle, 47-year-old Michael Draka pulled up in his Toyota and illegally parked alongside her. He got out of his truck and started circling the young mother's car, looking for a disabled parking placard. An altercation ensued after 20 seconds, with witnesses inside the store reporting they heard a loud and aggressive argument between a male and a female. Marquise exited the store 75 seconds.
Don't park in handicapped parking spot if you're not handicapped. But like, who are you to enforce that law? You're just a guy. Go away.
After the start of the confrontation, approached Draka and forcibly pushed him to the ground. Exactly 2.5 seconds after that, while still on the ground, Draka
Aspiring
pulled out
cop.
a 40 caliber Glock pistol and fired a single round at Marquise.
Aspiring
he then
cop.
ran back into the store and collapsed in front of his son. Paramedics arrived within 19 minutes and rushed him to the Morton Plant Hospital. He was pronounced dead at 4:04 p.m. CCTV footage captured the entire incident.
Do we see? Wait. Would you like literally? Do we see him get shot? Hold on.
Following the shooting, Draka reportedly put the gun in his SUV as he waited for law enforcement to arrive.
It wasn't
he
horrible,
cooperated with
but I
deputies
won't
at the
show you
scene as he
anyway.
was placed in handcuffs
It's, like,
and then
literally
transported to the
chippy.
North District Station for further questioning by.
You know, I think the video will go in depth about what happened.
No, Eric's. He's been cooperative with me though. See. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Let's take him off.
No problem.
We're gonna take 'em off. You're gonna be
Sorry,
cool?
you're scared. I love you.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know you. I don't know nothing about what's going on.
I know. You have my absolute word, sir.
You have my absolute word, sir. What a nerd! Get out of here. Should I put the subtitles on? My bad.
Anything else right now?
They are on.
All right.
It's just too quiet.
As quick as we can. Okay.
I'll shut the fuck up. Or will I?
Hold your arm. Is it hurt or something?
Yeah, it's starting. Everything's starting to get sore. Where it hit me from behind.
No,
and
I
where I
don't-
landed. That's all. Everything's.
Is anything broken?
No.
Torn?
No.
Okay. All right.
Straight up.
Okay.
Shackled. Yeah. I'm gonna turn it up.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? I'm Detective Upton.
Left hand, please.
Left hand, okay.
So, it's probably gonna get a little loud when our man Jim comes on the scene. So sorry about that in advance, but it is really quiet.
Sorry to have to meet you under these stressful circumstances a little bit.
Myself as well.
Yeah. Hey,
Actually, I want to rewatch the
meet you under
handshake.
these stressful circumstances.
Left hand.
Left hand, okay. Sorry to have to
That was
meet you under
awful.
these stressful circumstances a little bit.
Myself as well.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not the, this is Detective Shields, I'm sorry.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I'm not the case agent in this. I'm a detective in the same unit. The case agent and the assistant case agent.
Nerd! Nerd!
If that makes any sense to you, are going to come speak to you in just
he said, pushed me from behind. He didn't do that. The guy, that he shot. He didn't do that. He pushed him from the front. Alright, just confirming.
Oh, it's okay.
He barely hit the ground, by the way.
Of course, before
Whatever, it's fine.
any of us speak to you
I'm sure we'll talk about it.
try to go into any kind of details about anything or anything like that, I'd like to read you your rights. Are you familiar with your rights, Miranda rights? Okay. Okay. The reason we wanted to do that first, you know, of course,
Literally in front of his family.
about anything, and again, the case agents are going to come in here in just a few moments.
He's a cop sympathizer, pro-cop, and then
understanding that your vehicle was still
It's not a problem.
It's at the store.
Right by my house, so.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. We have it all cordoned off. It's safe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that parking lot, really.
Okay.
I never have. That's my store. I go in there every day.
You guys just live right around the corner?
Right around.
That's my store. Shut up.
Would you be willing to give us consent to go inside your vehicle and just for documentation purposes and that kind of thing?
Shit, yeah, go ahead.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we'll be with you momentarily, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
It's going to be two other guys, not quite as handsome as me, but they'll be in here in just a minute, okay?
Don't let them hear that.
Did he make a sling out of his shirt?
Hey, partner.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Hey, my name's George Moffat.
How you doing?
That's so fun. Not as handsome as him. They both look exactly the same. Hold on. So there's the original guy. Right? There he is. Get a good look at him.
Be in here in just a minute, okay?
Don't let them hear that.
Hey, partner. Hey, my name's George Moffat. This
How you
is
doing?
Richie Raymond Chandler.
Not anywhere near as handsome as me. It's the same dude, copy pasted 2 more times. How did they do that? That's so funny. I literally love being alive sometimes. This is why.
You've been
God, cops are so funny sometimes. They're so fucking goofy.
Get enough water and everything?
They're nerds.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Not the sheriff's shirt.
Just to
The sheriff
reiterate, my name's
polo.
George Moffat. All right, we're just here
Identical
at the
to him, that's
Powell
really
State
good.
Sheriff's Office, North District Station. Today's date's July 19th, 2018. We just want to talk to you reference today's shooting. Just go through your kind of day, like right before you get to the store.
Just coming back, going home, stopping at the store first, and then right around the corner to home.
Where do you live at, sir?
1116 Charles Street, Clearwater.
Are you employed, sir?
No, sir. Retired.
Okay.
Retired administrators from tree trimming problems because of health. From tree trimming because of health. Okay. Oh. Happy 905 everybody. I made it to 905. It feels like a rarity some of these days. Thank you for your happy 905s. It is appreciated as always.
For you, man.
Well, it never lasts.
I wish I was retired.
Yeah, it never lasts. I got to retire for about 13 years.
You mind if I call you Michael?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, and you can call me George.
You can call me
Just walk
George.
through, you leave your house and you drive up to the store?
No, I was coming back from the Wawa down on Missouri and Rosary to get some cash.
Missouri.
Stop by the store.
Like you said, Potos?
Oh.
Okay. So you get to the store, tell me, kind of walk me through what happens.
I park my car and that's my store. I'm there every day.
This is the second time he has said this. It could be argued that he's
This
already
is actually
trying
really quiet, so I'm gonna turn this shit off for me.
to give his version of events some form of reinforced vindication before he even states them. By it being his store and him being there every day, he is designating himself as some form of protector or guardian, thus characterizing his actions as pure and his logic behind them of pure intent.
Plain and simple. And, every day there's somebody pulled in the handicap spot there, just waiting on somebody.
Okay.
So I have a pet peeve about it.
Sure.
I, said, do you mind, moving? There's a spot next door and there's spots out front. I said, do you mind moving and waiting on somebody? And
so there's plenty more spots.
There's plenty more spots, yes. And she took that as an affront that I would speak to her that way. Started getting a little, yelling, and then of course.
So you walk up to her car?
Actually, I was walking around it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I parked here, she was here.
Okay.
Okay, so I just checked for placards, plain and simple. And she inquired about what was going on.
Me too. It's really annoying and should stop as soon as possible.
It's not very polite to park here when there's other people who need to use this. She says, is it affecting you directly? I said, if my mother-in-law rolls in, yes, it will be. So, there's nothing, there was none of that between us at all.
Okay.
No, nothing. Just heated words, that's all.
Okay.
How I was speaking to her, I guess.
Okay.
She said, what do I have to do to get my man? I said, well, what's going to happen?
Yeah, he's so gross.
Back and forth, and I never saw what hit me from
She was the driver of the car?
She was in the car. She was the only person in the car.
All right.
That I know of.
You didn't see anybody else? She was the driver of the car?
She was in the car. She was the only person in the car.
All right.
She had 2 kids in there. What do you mean she was the only person in the car? 2 children were in there, weren't there? Or was there only 2? Or was or did he only bring the one kid? I know of. They had 3, I thought. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. I thought she did. Maybe I'm remembering incorrectly. Oh wait, are you agreeing that she had 2 kids in there? I'm confused. Were there 2 kids? I'm pretty sure there was 2. Ow, I hit my knee really bad. Okay, you're agreeing. It's weird that that there was only 1 kid in the store, but I don't know. I don't go here. I don't know, if I were a 5-year-old kid, I wouldn't want to go into a store, but maybe that's just me.
It was dark, and see-through.
Ow.
So you guys are talking?
Yeah, exactly.
What did I hit? Oh, the corner of my computer.
And I got hit from the left side and thrown straight backwards in line with her car.
Okay.
So if you saw the 2 white ladder lines next to the thing, that's where I was standing. Okay, so I went almost straight back after I got hit.
What do you mean hit?
I was standing like this talking to her.
Okay.
I was hit from right here. The shoulder was pulled in front of me, and then I was.
Oh, okay.
And then I hit the ground.
Okay.
Okay.
I hit the ground. She was in the car. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that too much, but I'm pretty sure I landed my wrist under my gun. Actually, that's how I landed, because that's hurting like a son of a bitch now.
Oh, he's so annoying.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was
Shut
on
up,
the
go to
ground.
jail.
So that time I had to put hand down to get hand out from underneath. As I come out, I start drawing my weapon. As I start leveling off my weapon, he makes his next step towards me, and 21-foot rule.
The so-called 21-foot rule stems from what is known as the Tuller drill, a self-defense training exercise to prepare against a short-range knife or melee attack when armed only with a holstered handgun. The idea is that by the time an individual determines a deadly threat, draws their firearm, and fires, the attacker will have already closed up to 21 feet in distance. This reinforces the idea that one should have their handgun drawn and ready to engage at a target if they're within that distance. Yet what Draca left out is that this training exercise puts a strong emphasis on the fact that the attacker must have a weapon in their hands. That is the key component if one is to use this rule as a justification to immediately engage with deadly force.
Also, what is he? He's just a guy. He said he chopped down trees. Why is he doing drills? Like, what are you talking about? Hello? He's... I don't think
I'm on
so.
the ground already.
Right. Okay.
It happened so fast, and that was that.
Did he say anything to you?
Negative. Not a word.
Okay.
Negative.
Did you
Nerd!
say anything to him?
No.
Like back up? Or?
No.
It could be assumed that the suspect's frantic response was because he felt threatened by the question. Put yourself in his position, but assume that you knew, without question, that you were in the right, and there was no other option than to fire upon the attacker. When posed a completely logical question such as this, you would take a moment to grasp and incorporate its principle. This is because you would have no need to be in a defensive state of mind. You would feel no threat, and it's human nature to be inquisitive and curious about matters related to our own decision-making. It's how we grow as people. Yet, if we are in a defensive state of mind, this natural curiosity would be overlooked, as our focus would be projected outward toward the perceptions of others, rather than inward toward our own. In this instance, it could be argued that Draca's immediate response, void of any contemplation whatsoever, is him trying to insinuate that he felt so threatened by the attacker that even the thought of giving any sort of a warning is an illogical concept. It's a variant of the emotional response known as appeal to extremes.
Okay. So you draw your weapon. Talk to me about that.
Well, the way I was able to draw it, I couldn't level it with one hand, so I had to eventually try and bring my left around for support.
Okay.
And he made his step towards me, and that was that.
How many steps did he make towards you?
Just one step.
Okay. And then that was that. Talk to me about that. What do you do from there?
He pushed you, bro.
I made sure there's no other threat
That's
around
pathetic.
me because it spun him a little bit, and he ran into the store. Immediate threat gone. I did have her as a potential.
No, I mean beforehand, before you fired the gun.
Ask me the question.
Before you fired the gun.
Yes.
Once you pull the gun out.
Yes.
Okay. You said he stepped towards you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know
one more step. Right. He made one more step towards me.
And then what do you do?
I didn't say a word. Gun was already out.
Okay. What do you do?
Fire my weapon.
Dude, watching true crime, like, I don't watch it very often anymore, but when I was in, like, my interrogation era, my JCS era, he's like, he should, yeah. He does. He's got cop brain. He saw a black person in the handicap spot and was like, now's my chance. But a lot of them are really dumb. Murderers, that is.
How many times you fired?
You watch enough interrogation and it's
you fired
bad.
a weapon and then basically just scan?
I ended up standing up, made sure all the threats were clear, reholstered my weapon.
Okay. All right. So he didn't come back at you again or anything like that?
Not after he left.
Where did he go?
Into the store.
Okay. Did you strike him?
No.
No, I mean with a gun.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I assume so, yes, because there was an ambulance there.
Okay. So you don't know if you hit him?
I know nothing, but I would assume so.
Okay.
Dude, you were like point blank.
What do you do? Talk to me from there.
Except for Jeff, of course.
Your weapon.
After I reholster
Love
my
him.
weapon, everything's clear.
There's
Somebody's
another
screaming-
video that's similar, where you get, like, normally when you watch these, like, interrogations, you don't get a whole lot of innocent people, because, well, I haven't seen any innocent people, but there's this other JCS video that's like called Guilty Till Proven Innocent. It's about the differences between people who are guilty in the interrogation room and then people who are not. And I thought that was interesting. That's a good video. Perhaps later.
I heard kids.
Not
Someone
tonight,
screaming about
LMAO. This
her
one's
kids.
50 minutes.
Somebody thought they were in the car. So I said everybody's inside, see if you can get her to unlock the car. And that was it. All I remember is screaming about kids.
Okay. What do you do from after you hear somebody talking about her kids and stuff?
Everything's all, well, I asked one person to go,
Cross the
see if she can unlock her car.
Yeah,
from
me
inside,
too.
and I decided to
We
execute
could do
myself in
that,
the situation
Tuesday.
and went back to my vehicle and wait for you. So I took my took my firearm out.
Wednesday,
loaded
Monday.
it, locked it, left it in
Monday.
the car.
My bad. We're Mario Karting on Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Unloaded it, locked it back, waited.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Did you unload mag or anything like that? Or
Have fun. Bathroom making. Yeah, mentioning the kids. I was like,
We're
yo.
gonna kind of slow it down
Kids
a little
confirmed.
bit, because I'm going to be asking specific questions about the incident. And again, just like you were, just be truthful with me. Just because we got it there.
Ain't no trouble there. Boo! Nerd! Cop fucker.
Kind of dot our I's and cross our T's. Exactly what happened. I know you kind of went through it a little fast or whatever, so we're going to just go back a little bit. Is that okay?
Whatever you need
All right.
to, bro.
Appreciate it. So you exit your vehicle, right?
The cops are probably thinking like, wow, this is the best interrogation we've ever done. This is fun. We should hang.
Like you always do, and you're getting ready to walk in the store.
Boo!
And what
Yeah!
do you see from them?
No placard on the front of the car. Because I have to walk by the car to...
So you approach the vehicle?
Oh, front of the vehicle, yeah.
Okay. And your intentions on walking around the cars to look for placards?
Always, yeah.
Okay. Where do you normally...
Always? Why do you care? If someone's parked in the handicapped parking spot, 99% of the time, it is going to be a handicapped person. So, don't pay attention. Like, after that many times of, like, looking for non-handicapped people in the handicapped spot, like, I would get bored of checking, because it'd be like, oh, darn, another handicapped person using the spot they're supposed to. Real shame, I was hoping to find somebody to murder. What's wrong with you?
Pictures if there's,
Okay. You take pictures if you don't see no placards, or
Correct.
you take... Okay. Where do you normally look for placards?
License plate, windshield, and the front.
Okay.
See if there's a front license plate or anything.
Okay. When you approached the vehicle, was the driver... Did you make eye contact with the driver?
I couldn't see the driver. The windows were so dark.
Okay.
I didn't know anybody was in the car.
Right.
Truthfully.
So her window wasn't rolled down?
No,
the
no,
driver's
at the
side?
time, no.
Okay. So you start walking around the car?
Yeah, I walked from the front to the back and then just back up again. And
Okay.
I took no pictures. I just, would
Sure.
assume would go and keep going, but then the window came down.
He states that the altercation started once the driver rolled down her window, yet the surveillance says otherwise.
I don't think they'll show it.
The prosecution stated that the suspect spotted the driver through the windshield and engaged with her at this moment.
I mean, he's got it. Start pointing.
The window then comes down at this moment.
Was the car running?
I couldn't tell. It's so quiet.
Okay.
These damn cars. It doesn't sound anything like mine, which is like a...
So then when you come back around, is the window rolled down?
Doesn't sound anything
only
like
way I
wild,
could get back
piece of
up
shit.
in front, and she on my way into the store, and she asked me,
So she rolls her window down?
Yes, sir.
Do you make verbal contact with her first, or did
She made verbal contact with me first.
Well,
and I
refuted in
explained
court?
what I did.
Love you refuted in court.
Okay. So she asked you what? What are you doing?
What do
Walking
you
around
know?
my car?
Yeah, I
And
said
you said
I'm looking for handicap placards,
Okay.
And then it ensued with, well, what's that matter
So-
to you?
okay.
And,
So when she rolls her window down, she says, "Hey, what
What
are you
does
doing?
that matter to you?
How far are you away from the car?"
to the front of the car.
Okay, so you're standing at the front.
Yeah, about the front of the car, which is the
Are you
edge
on
of
the
the
curb?
sidewalk. Yeah.
Okay, so you're on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I'm not exactly in front of the car. I'm on the sidewalk at the front of the car.
Okay. So after you start talking to her, do you approach the driver's side of the car?
Yeah, just of course. I don't want to yell back and
Right.
forth.
That's understandable. So how far do you approach the vehicle? Distance-wise, approximately.
You may be wondering why they are asking such specific questions when the entire incident was captured on surveillance. Yet they are not asking for the purpose of gathering facts. They are asking to see if the suspect will amend the facts to fit with his own narrative. Anything he fabricates can be used against him, especially during cross-examination to negate his credibility.
If you lie, you go to jail.
Let's say I'm the driver.
She could probably smell your breath.
Okay.
After a while, it's not like I was leaning in her car or anything.
Hopefully you can't smell my breath.
Oh yeah, hopefully you can smell mine.
So can you show me how far? Let's say I'm her. How far do you come up to her?
By the window.
Okay, so a couple feet.
Yeah, I'm not going to encroach into her car.
All right. So You guys are bickering back and forth. Next thing you know, you get pushed.
I'm pushed nothing. Tackled. I'm
Okay.
blindsided, dude.
Okay.
I am on the ground hard.
So he shoved you pretty hard.
No, for what it felt like is he come running at me.
Okay. Like full force.
Dude, I haven't been hit like that since I was in my 20s.
Okay. All right. So
You got pushed, dude. It's okay. Shut up. Shut up.
So he
It's
shoved
fine.
you to the ground.
Oh no.
You fall to the ground.
He pushed me.
Slightly, dude. He's not very.
Shut up,
slightly.
man.
Do you hit your head?
Don't know. Don't feel anything.
Okay.
Don't know.
So you don't know if
he's
he's
sideways like this. I know this landed under my gun. Okay, so I landed on my wrist on my gun.
Okay.
Had to reach over to extract my hand.
To push yourself back.
To push myself up off of that. And as I'm reaching and pulling around, he's standing in front of me. As I come up, he's taking his step towards me.
Okay. Now let's discuss that. If you don't mind, could you sit on the ground real quick for me?
That's where I was.
I don't want you to hurt it.
No.
Okay.
You do.
So you're on the ground, right?
I'm on the ground like this.
Okay. How far is the guy away?
Front of the car.
He's at the front of the car?
Front of the
so he's on
car.
that sidewalk kind of curb area?
No, he's in front of the car, off the sidewalk.
Okay, right on the edge?
You got it.
So how far do you think he's away from you?
I might have been right at the edge of the back of the front door.
Why did he have to get on the ground for this? This is yeah. I mean, you're right. Men are pathetic. Me men, but mostly cis white killer men.
Of the car?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
So he's up by the front tire?
He's up by the front tires. No, further than that, man.
Further than this?
Further than that.
Okay.
I was back further. He had to be further than that.
Okay. So he's about this far.
Yeah.
Maybe even further.
And as I come up this way, because I have to come up off my hand, all right, I bring the gun out with me. And as I'm coming back this way, I can't support it. So I hit this.
Okay.
And as
What does he do?
I hit this. The cop gun thing. What's the heck is that say? Cole Evans. Who's that? Sprouse. Unless he got married? No one else can play Jughead. I hit the cop gun move, yeah. Here, and then I hit the this. Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember what his name was.
as I come out like this, he's taking his step.
Okay. Taking a step?
Taking his steps towards me.
Okay.
So let's look at the footage.
Let me do the check here. Well, it is it got inside of that document. Oh no! Here, I'm gonna watch it really quick, and then I'll let you see if he's not shot.
The suspect is shoved to the ground
Okay,
as
he
described.
wasn't. Here you go.
The suspect is shoved to the ground as he described.
Okay, hold on.
This is the moment he reaches for his gun. Marquise sees this and starts backing up. Marquise takes 3.5 steps back, and 2.5 seconds go by. Draca then fires his weapon.
Okay, yeah, you can't see that one.
How close does he get to you before?
But he, so you shove to the ground. He pulls out his gun while he's on the ground, and then, Marquise backs up. He doesn't step forward like he's saying. He backs up because he was just pulled. A gun was just pulled on him. Believe it or not, the choice is yours.
Before you fire the gun?
Maybe to the front tire.
So show me where. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, so right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he charging after you?
2 steps running.
Okay. Well, he was. You're saying he was running?
Well, it would have been running when he got out of behind the car.
Okay. All right.
I gotta get off.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want you to hurt yourself.
No.
What did you think then, Mike?
Say again,
What did you think when that happened?
Do you need help? He just shot a guy and is admitting to it. Leave him down there. He looked really funny.
Never been
In
in
his
that
fucked up
situation
little
ever.
goofy
I
ass
thought kicks were
sandals.
coming.
Okay.
So you thought he was gonna?
I thought kicks were coming, or at least he'd be on top of
you
me.
need
No,
help?
I got it.
He just killed a man. Why are you acting like his buddy?
So. You're
So
thinking he's
weird. Cops are so
gonna come
weird.
kick you?
I'm thinking he's coming to do the rest of it.
Did you see him with a firearm?
No, sir, I didn't see him with anything.
Okay. What do you mean the rest of it?
Whatever beating was coming after that.
He just asserted that he thought kicks or a beating was coming. If he had spoken with a lawyer, he would have been advised to not only state, but put considerable emphasis on the fact that he believed that his life was in danger. He would have essentially been told to say that it was either his life or the attackers, and that there wasn't a shred of doubt in his mind that he would have been killed had he not fired his weapon in self-defense. Even without the surveillance footage to refute his version of the
He would've been
altercation,
yelled at
these
best.
statements alone would be extremely damning in a court of law.
So you thought
Haha, he fucked up. Jail.
Okay. All right.
Prison.
So if he gonna hit me that hard to begin with from blindside from the get-go, what else should I expect?
I'll add that to my list of things to do. I
So
gotta
you're on
add
the
jail
ground.
to the thing.
You said he was running at you,
Yeah.
but he only took like a step.
He would have if he had cleared that and come around towards me again with that second foot.
Okay.
That
So he
would've
only
been
made one step.
He barely made the second step before I pulled the trigger.
Okay. What kind of gun you got?
Glock 23.
Okay.
Why do you think the guy's gonna beat you?
Because I just got
Oh, I-
blindsided out of nowhere.
Yeah! No parole.
What else would I do?
Jail only.
Oh, I'm just asking.
Now, I've never been in that situation before. First thing I think, if I'm getting hit like that, somebody's coming at me for more.
Not the phone. He's bored.
What did the female do at that point?
The female just
The
started
female?
Was she in the car or out of the car?
Out of the car.
Okay. She's screaming that you just shot him, or?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. You
Pretty
just hear her
sure?
screaming. Okay.
I'm not paying attention to her anymore because I moved away from her. She's not a threat to me anymore.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you a question. You mentioned early that you asked Mustafa about video and stuff like that.
Correct.
That there do you think the video would show him charging it or running
It
at you?
should.
Okay.
There should be an angle right
It
on that parking
should?
spot.
Okay. What happens if I told you that I looked at the video and in no time and point does he come running up towards you? He actually takes a step back.
I would disagree.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would disagree. in a
I'm just
heartbeat.
asking.
All right. So
Okay, thank you.
you said
What a good
after
job.
he runs in the store
Real
and
slick.
stuff like that.
Did you see me get hit?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Where did
absolutely.
it come from?
Uh,
If you don't mind me asking, where do you
We'll get
come
it
from?
all.
Yeah, we'll get
We'll
into
break it all
that.
down for you.
But did she
And he knows it's on video
she
too.
walks
He's
around
still
the
lying
vehicle.
though.
Does she go anywhere? Do you see her go anywhere?
She went to the front of the store. She was inside for a while,
she-
then she
I
got in and
believe
moved
it.
her car.
Okay. So she.
And
came
he's
back
probably
outside
saying
the
that to
store.
keep
She
you
did.
talking.
Did you guys have
I
any
hope.
discussion?
The only thing I said to her was somebody's trying to see if you've got keys for your children.
Okay. Did when the gentleman before you fired the gun, did he make any threats towards you?
I never
he
heard a
pushed you?
word.
Okay. So he didn't say, "I'm going to kick your ass."
I never heard a word of anything.
Let's kind of back up because I'm just trying to understand. Excuse me. Before
Neither would I, to be honest.
Okay.
If I remember the video
and
properly,
he had already shoved you. Right.
they get weird. The cops
you said
get
you thought he was
weird.
going to come kick you and basically finish the job.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear him make any statements?
Negative. He never made a word.
I hate negative. I hate that he says it. It's so goofy and dumb, and you're stupid, and you're a dork, and you're a nerd. Okay, I hate this guy. He's so
like,
annoying.
Never said a word until I fired, but then he never said a word when he dumped me either.
Right. So you never said, what
No,
the hell,
sir.
dude? Okay. So you guys don't have any type of
I barely even saw the man.
The cops
No,
are
I
on him,
mean,
yeah.
after he
Oh,
pushed
no.
you were on the ground.
It's the
You're
sheriff,
trying to get to your
Polo.
sidearm.
No talks between us.
Okay.
At all.
You don't ask him, what the hell, dude? Why'd you push me?
No.
He doesn't make any statements, I'm going to come kick your ass?
No. Negative.
Okay.
Didn't say a word to me.
So he made
I
no
take
threats
damage every
that
time he
was
says
gonna come
negative.
finish his job.
It was an assumption, definitely.
Okay. So you just assumed he was going to come do that?
Any smart person would, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I get it. I understand it. So, and then you shoot him just one time, correct?
One time, sir.
Okay.
Neutralized.
And then he just knew.
You what?
One time, correct?
One time, sir.
Okay.
Neutralized.
Huh? He, neutralized him? Dude, you're just a guy. You go back again?
Just one time, correct?
One time, sir.
Okay.
Neutralized.
And then.
Good. Neutralize. No, dude. Hello? You can't just say that.
And he just neutralize it?
Neutralized, and then that's it. There's no reason to.
What do you mean? Can you elaborate? What do you mean neutralize?
Neutralize the
Okay, okay. The one good thing the cop has done so far has been neutralize. Jail. Immediate prison. That's jail.
That's it. I don't. No reason to go overboard anyway.
Sure. Okay, I get it. And then he runs in.
I shoot to save my own ass, and that's that.
Okay.
Jail forever. Yeah.
Do you understand that? I mean, does it ever go through your mind that when you're going up and talking to these people and informing them of them being parked in a handicapped spot, that they might not take that right? That this might go sideways a little bit?
Well, sure, but that's why I take precautions as well.
Like what? What kind of precautions?
I'm a very careful person, and I have a permit.
He has just stated that he was fully aware beforehand that a serious altercation could have arisen from his actions, and then justified these actions on the grounds that he was carrying a weapon. He has essentially just tried to condone the provocation of a potential violent encounter.
He's like, oh yeah, neutralize, that's fine. Let me get on my phone. Text the wife. And I'm gonna hang out with Michael later today.
As he was protected, showing no consideration for the safety and well-being of others. It could be argued that he gave no thought to the potential harm said provocation could cause anyone apart from himself.
He's so fucked up.
You think you go knock on these people's, or I shouldn't say knock on these people's
Yeah, I
doors.
don't
You think you go confront them?
anyone
I mean,
to their face.
It's approaching, so we use the term approach instead of confront.
Okay, but it is up to the person who's in the car to actually confront.
If you go up to somebody and approach them, they could take that as being confrontational. You can't really interpret how
that
people are
would
going to
make
take
them
it.
confrontational.
But if you go up to somebody and you approach them about being parked in a handicapped spot, do you think you'd be willing to do that and take that risk if you didn't take these precautions? Because you don't know how people are going to react.
I've been carrying a gun most of my adult life, so I can't really answer
Playground.
that in a way that would satisfy you.
Okay.
You
Well,
know what
would
I
you
mean?
approach these people if you didn't?
That's so
Once
funny.
again,
I hate you.
Don't know. I would have to say yeah. But I wouldn't
He's
know.
got another like 3 times too.
always carry
It's
a
been
I've
2
always carried a
hours.
firearm.
Okay. Since how long?
You're the sheriff, dude. Pull it together.
22,
How old are you now?
48.
If, let's say on the video, watch the
He
video
old,
or whatever,
old.
and he doesn't approach you or make any steps towards you like you indicated.
Exactly what I saw, though.
Okay, so you saw him come towards you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What happens if he didn't
Cops
come
love
towards
bad
you?
vibes,
Would you
though,
still
so-
fire around?
There's no reason to. If he's retreating, then I don't need to use my firearm.
What if he's just standing still?
I still don't need to use my firearm.
He has just removed a potentially strong argument from a defense team. Upon reviewing the surveillance footage, the defense could have asserted that the defendant was still in considerable fear of his life, even though the suspect was retreating. This could have further asserted the argument that his actions were not the result of malignant anger, but rather the result of irrational fear.
Did you see, when you saw this guy, after he pushed you, did you see anything on his face? Did you see any facial expressions or anything?
Negative. All I saw was a man trying to do me.
What were his hands doing? Did you see?
All I saw was a man trying to do me in a gay way. I had to kill him.
I have no clue. Okay.
Were you able to see him? Were you able to see the guy's hands?
I didn't see his hands per se, and I didn't see his face at all. I don't know what he looks like.
Could you see his legs, his feet, anything like that?
I might have seen his legs. I know he was a black guy, that's it. Or maybe his arms, I'm not sure.
Could you see anything that he was doing other than...
watching his feet, watching his hips.
Alright. So if he was standing still, you would have seen no reason to
No,
pull
sir.
the trigger. Okay.
If he hadn't have twitched, I never would have pulled that trigger.
When that gun was out, did you make the decision to shoot when you pulled the gun out, or was that
Negative.
decision made afterwards?
Negative decision I made as soon as he moved.
Okay. Did you remember having time to think and process
No
things?
time to think.
But you
As
hadn't
soon as
made...
that gun was out, the twitch goes. That's it.
Okay. But you said you actually pulled the gun out before you made the decision to shoot, right?
I'm not pulling it out with the intention of pulling the trigger.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
if I come up on target and I need to shoot, I'm shooting.
If you would have pulled that gun...
On target?
Between the time you pulled that gun, if you would have been on your back and you pulled that gun and you had it on him, if he would have been standing still, do you think that trigger would have gotten pulled?
No.
Did you have time to really look at him and tell that he was coming towards you?
The feet said he was coming towards me, and
Okay.
so did the hips.
And so did his hips. Why are you looking at his hips, dog? It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Huh? The hips of a man? Wow, that's interesting. Now go ahead. No, go on.
What kind of twitch was it?
The hip twitch. Right foot comes around this way like he's going to come right past that car thing, and that was that.
How much time do you think it was between when you pulled that gun out and when you
I don't
actually
know.
pulled the trigger?
God, it sure looks so dumb.
How much time did it seem like?
Someone
It
get this
seemed like
man.
a split second.
Okay.
All right, Michael, we'll be right back.
So, we spoke before, I'm Detective Shields of the Sheriff's Office. We're here to do a buccal swab, which is a swabbing of your cheeks if you consent to it. We're going to go over a consent form here. These are our forensics technicians, forensic specialists that work here at the Sheriff's Office. And they're going to get some overall stuff.
Dude, is without a doubt me. I've dropped 13,000 frames. It's very bad. I think I fixed it. For now. I feel bad about it. I love you. But also, the video isn't over yet. Oh, okay, well, frames are still dropping. Is it bearable for everyone else? If it's unbearable, I can stop now and we can finish the video later. Because I don't think it'll get any better. I don't know why it's bad. Honestly, God was merciful in granting me a secondary microphone that I forgot I had. However, we can't all be winners, and it was probably best to just end the stream. It's fine. Okay. I love you.
Hi, Michael, if you just stand up right here, I'll just take some overall photographs of you. I'm just gonna see, where were your injuries?
You can take the shirt.
Yeah, you can take
Now,
the
this
shirt.
is basically it as far as noticeable injuries. Everything else is just muscular and on the inside.
Okay.
So as far
Muscular.
as visible one, that's
No, dude.
What does that say in your tattoo?
Madness and sadness. Used her initials were SAD. Mine
Okay,
were
so,
NAD.
and thank God.
Oh, that's cool.
She's so far away now.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, man. You good on water and stuff like that?
Sorry for what? Doing your job?
Like, we just want to talk to you, kind of seal up a few things and go over a few more things. Is that all right?
Okay.
Just kind of clarify things.
Clarify away.
So, In regards to the incident at the store, you had mentioned early on when I was talking to you about after he shoved you, okay, and you fell to the
Shove
ground.
me, nothing.
Well, I mean,
A shove is somebody standing in front of somebody and pushing their arms out straight. This felt like I was run at and tackled.
okay, all right. So after he tackles you or whatever in your
Or whatever.
you fall to the ground, correct?
Very
Okay, because I don't want
It
to
was a
word that
shove
wrong.
at best.
And then, you know, you're working on getting your firearm out because of what reason?
I laid on it when I fell.
Okay, but you're working on trying to get your firearm out.
I had to drag it out from under me.
For what reason though?
If you had just been blindsided with no idea who was attacking you, would your firearm be out next move you made?
Probably so. I mean, I don't
That's
know.
exactly
It's hard for me
right.
to make that.
That's exactly
It literally
opinion.
would. As a cop, it would.
So,
You know it would.
It's a training.
okay. When you looked up
For what?
and you see him, what were you
Training for what? You did trees.
What's going through my mind is he coming back at me again?
Jail.
Okay. To do what? What did you think he was going to do?
Thinking he's going to finish what the hell he just started.
He put his arm back in his shirt.
And to you,
So I
like, what do
going
you
to
mean?
jail.
Kind of elaborate a little
Yes.
I have no clue
Yes.
because he didn't do anything.
Prison.
I can't
Prison.
elaborate on something.
Prison.
What do you
It's
think?
where he
he was doing?
belongs.
No clue. Come after me again. That's about it. What he would have done is just pure conjecture.
All right. So did you think he was maybe going to get physical with you?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Fight, you think you can take him?
Negative. I do not fight. Never have been a fighter.
Never?
Never.
Ever?
Ever.
Right.
Sure.
I didn't even fight in school.
These statements were used by the prosecution to further assert his lack of consideration for the safety and well-being of others. As he stated earlier, he was aware that his decision to approach the vehicle could have resulted in an altercation, potentially a violent one, yet he has just confirmed that he has no hand-to-hand fighting experience or training whatsoever, meaning that his boldness in the situation solely came from the fact that he was armed with a deadly weapon, thus making him highly inclined to using it when far less force would have sufficed. The prosecution essentially stated that he was willing to kill in order to prevent himself from getting moderately hurt in the situation that he initiated.
I mean, what do you finish the job?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way.
I have no clue what he started and what his end game was.
Right. Okay.
I was in the dark about that, so that makes me believe
So
to myself,
dumb.
I need a force multiplier
Fucked
because I
up.
don't know what's going on.
What do you mean a force multiplier? What is
Exactly what you know. What a force multiplier.
No, sir, I don't. If I did, I don't. I really don't.
Well, a force multiplier is a sidearm. Anything
Okay.
other than your hand.
Okay. All right, I got you.
A stick.
Some type of weapon.
Force.
A force multiplier. A stick.
Multiplier.
Okay.
You don't turn around.
I hate.
I
hate
learned it
force
from-
multiplier.
I learned it from.
Yeah,
I seriously didn't know what that meant.
Sorry, the internet's bad. I love you.
And I just want to tell you this, you know, just to let you know, the gentleman you shot is deceased.
Just shot them without hesitation? Yeah.
Nobody else.
Love that for him. Hated force multiplier. Force multiplier bad.
Okay. You got any questions for me or anything?
I guess the cop's done.
Other than the standard ground thing, and I did exactly what I thought I was supposed to be doing at that time, considering what was happening to myself. No, sir, I don't think I have anything else to say.
It's satisfied.
All right, approximate time is about 2,200 hours. Interview will be concluded.
Draca was released without charge as the investigation was ongoing, but was arrested 25 days later on August 13th and charged with a single count of manslaughter. During those 25 days, Draca was named as the accused aggressor in 4 prior road incidents ranging from 2012 to 2018, where he threatened drivers with a gun. 2 were male, 2 were female, including a young mother with 2 children in the car. He was interviewed by WTSP 18 days after his arrest.
I
just want you to tell me about yourself.
He only killed one person.
I'm pretty
That's
much
what
a
count
normal,
means, right?
everyday person.
I don't know what that means. If not, one person.
Average problems, I would suppose. Right. I don't know what everybody else's problems are, but you know, I've got money troubles. You know, we've got moving troubles.
Right.
But other than that, everything.
Right. Take me back to, I'm going to call it that day. What kind of morning did you have July 19th? But were you working? Were you walking the dogs? Were you?
I don't think this is really the right place to go into specifics about that day.
Well, I wasn't talking about the actual incident of the shooting. I was just saying what your day was like. Cup of coffee.
Normal, everyday day, really nothing that.
Saw the wife off to work.
Too surprising.
He did go to jail, thank God, where he belongs.
Everybody involved with this case, a lot of people involved with this case have spoken up. Mm-hmm. The sheriff has spoken out. The prosecution has spoken out. The McLaughlins have spoken out. Al Sharpton has spoken out. And
Who are these
felt
people?
that it was necessary to hear from the person
He's insane.
at the center of this case. The McLaughlins have been very, very hard and descriptive about you as a person. Is there something that you could say to them that might give some clarity about who you are or how you feel?
I really don't think this is the right place to talk to the family directly.
Right. How many dogs do you have? 2. And what kind are they?
German Shepherd.
All right.
That's would argue display of community and compassion. Prosecution would argue self-pity and appeal.
It seems like this is striking a chord with you. Do you?
Yeah, I don't. Miss my girls. Miss my girls.
Mm.
It's all,
Your dogs?
Yeah. Is there anything in your mind that would
Maybe don't kill people and
change
then it'd be fine.
now that you have a chance to look back? Is there anything you would change with what happened, how it happened? Is there anything that you would change, or I'm sure you had time to think about this?
Sure. I've had plenty of time to think about it, but as far as changing anything as events,
right.
Is what you're...
Right.
I don't see...
I wouldn't have shot anybody. Okay.
I really did. No, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
You mean you'd still shoot the guy? The family definitely misses their dad, yeah. Dude, there was one right there! Oh, man. Oh, God.
People that have come down to speak about the events and things
Sorry,
of that nature,
back.
and they get the feeling that there might be a racial overtone to this incident.
No, there's almost no way of that. Number one,
The red almost. Thank you, Jesus.
my upbringing really
right.
prevents that from coming out of me ever. My parents weren't that way.
Right.
You know, it was always try and get along with everybody. Green eggs and ham. You
Right.
know, everybody's different. And I grew up during desegregation, not segregation. Okay, so it's not like was sheltered from.
I gotta do some math. Calculate button. Get this bad boy out. Okay, so if he is... Okay. 2018. 1970. Okay. I guess it's true, but also people were racist in the 70s. I can't remember during desegregation, yeah. Also, it was still, like, people weren't happy about it. Your parents definitely taught you to be racist. But whatever.
From other cultures, or
Whatever.
races, from a very young age. And my professionalism beyond that prevents me from saying stuff like that anyway.
So I can look you in the eye right now and ask you,
Yes.
if
Are you racist?
are racist, what would be your answer?
Wait, I was joking. I didn't realize he was just gonna come out and be like, "Are you racist?" My bad.
No, there's.
You do not hate black people.
I do not hate anybody.
You do not hate black people.
He was released
Are you
from
sure?
jail 1 month after this interview on a $100,000 bond. His trial began on August 19th of 2019.
One of the most high-profile trials in the Bay Area will officially get underway.
Michael Drake's attorney will argue that Drake fatally shot Marquise McLaughlin in self-defense.
ABC Action News
You
reporter
what?
Jasmine Stiles joins us live now from Clearwater with a breakdown of the jury.
At 8:45 this morning, prosecutors and the defense will give their opening statements to 6 jurors. We know that they are mostly
What
white.
did you say? Okay, I gotta go back now. I don't know what you guys were talking about.
You in the eye right now and ask you,
Yes.
I wasn't
if
listening,
you
apparently.
are racist, what would be your answer?
No. There's.
No.
You do not hate black people.
I do not hate anybody.
He
All
was
lives
released
matter.
from jail 1 month after this
Oh,
interview
he
on a
was released from jail.
$100,000
Got
bond.
it.
His
I
trial
wasn't-
began on August 19th of 2019.
One of
No,
the most
yeah, the
high-profile
trial. It's
trials
okay,
in
guys.
the Bay Area will officially
He
get
goes to
underway.
jail.
Michael Drake's
Probably.
attorney will argue that Drake fatally shot Marquise McLaughlin in self-defense.
ABC Action News reporter Jasmine Stiles joins us live now from Clearwater with a breakdown of the
My
jury.
bad.
At 8:45 this morning, prosecutors and the defense will give their opening
I thought he said,
statements
yes, I
to
am
6
racist, and
jurors.
I missed
We
it
know
completely.
that they
That
are
would've been
mostly white,
embarrassing.
and none of those jurors are black. It took about 2 days to whittle down the large pool of potential jurors.
And watch his reaction when he finds out in the interview that Mr. McLaughlin had expired. He's not celebrating. He's not proud. He's not happy. That shows you that
Had
it wasn't
expired.
his
Okay,
intention
you
or
little
his desire
freak.
to
What
take
the
a human
fuck?
life. He did what
Also,
he thought he had to do.
Why do you have a
in the
mohawk?
moment,
You're a
in
lawyer.
split-second timing, given that he was attacked. It's not a high-definition video. You heard their own experts say.
What do you mean?
It
Yeah.
was standard definition. We don't even know the age of
He
the cameras that
hates
captured the
black
images.
people. Like he was like,
But clearly,
hey,
it's not the best images.
Mr. Grand Wizard of the KKK. Do you have any lawyer recommendations I could have to get me out of my racism case? Like, that's how it
And
works.
we heard about this compression artifact. You're going to see that there's some wavy lines when you watch the video in the deliberation room. You're going to see this little jumping, little wavy
mean,
lines over the shoulder of Mr. McLaughlin.
he just
at one
wanted a free
point,
kill.
On the grill of one of the cars at one point. So it's not
Kyle
completely
Rittenhouse core.
representative of what occurred. And it's certainly not high definition representative.
What are
Color
you-
seems to be off, very, very low color. You heard the store owner say,
So, you get the idea. He moved backward so clearly that the 2-pixel camera picked it up. Have fun getting a snack. Good luck finding anything. There's nothing in the house.
that
I love
Mr.
you.
Draker came in every day. He didn't know he carried a weapon. Mr. Draker never said, hey, I got a gun. I carry a firearm. Had no idea.
He
And why
seemed
did he
real proud
describe
of
Mr.
it.
Draker?
No problem.
He said he was always
Seemed
calm.
real proud of it in the interrogation room, but whatever.
And in this video interview, he's calm.
He was
Seems a
ready
little
to.
depressed,
Oh,
calm.
God.
He doesn't seem
Defense insane.
proud or excited or anything like that. Very calm. Everyone that described him said he was calm, cooperative, nice guy. He had no time to think. He had no time to analyze the
He killed
situation.
someone.
He was attacked. He was blindsided. He says that. Listen to him in his interview. Those clips the state didn't play to you. So I just hope that as you go back and deliberate on this extremely, fundamentally important constitutional issue.
Blindside, yeah.
Remember, we live in America. Mr. Drake is presumed not guilty unless the state is able to overcome that presumption by evidence and testimony. We respectfully submit to you that that has not occurred in this case, that there is reasonable doubt.
He's
Common
the
sense tells you that.
KKK's
You know
lawyer.
how
I'm
divisive
telling-
this case is.
I'm telling
Mr.
you.
Drake did what he thought was necessary to terminate a threat, a clear threat
He's
against
done
his
this
life.
before.
And as I said, when you go back and talk about it, Ask yourself, if Mr. Draca hadn't pulled the gun and fired, what would have happened to Mr. Draca? Mr. Draca was the victim here. That's the sad part.
No! You can't just say that!
The victim, the true victim, has become the defendant in a very serious criminal case. His life and liberty are at stake here on your decision. Think it through. One man is already gone. Do we want to take another man's life away from him on this kind of evidence? And there's this kind of doubt in the case.
The lady in the back had it.
What
Oh
we have
my
to do as
god.
the state of Florida is prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that defendant committed the crime of manslaughter. Now, what is a reasonable doubt? Here is a story that I tell in closing arguments. Admittedly, it might sound silly, but it's to demonstrate what is and what is not a reasonable doubt. So let's say that you're walking your dog at night, and it's Florida, of course, and you hear some thunder, you see some lightning, you smell the rain, you go to bed. You wake up, water everywhere. Okay? Beyond a reasonable doubt, it's been proven that it rained. Now, is it possible that a helicopter went over the neighborhood, go into some forest fire, dump the bucket of water over the neighborhood? Is it possible the sun's not going to rise?
God,
Okay?
that's...
But that's not reasonable
Yes!
based on the evidence.
Jail!
The evidence is there was thunder, there was lightning, the smell of rain. When you look at all that, it's been proven beyond a reasonable doubt that it rained.
Send the lawyer
And
too.
one of the most important things
They
that
can
you
go
do
together.
not leave when you come into a courtroom is your common sense. So common sense tells you that it rained. Now, can you speculate this? So let's say that you have some kids in the neighborhood. Let's say there's 3 kids. You got Allison, you got Alyssa, and you got Timmy. Okay? And Timmy's the terrible one in the neighborhood, and he has the super soaker gun, and he likes to spray that super soaker gun everywhere. Now, can you speculate that he took that super soaker gun, went all around the neighborhood when you were sleeping, and sprayed water everywhere? Well, sure, because you can speculate about anything. But is that reasonable based on the evidence? Thunder, lightning, smell of rain. Absolutely not. That's not reasonable. So when you look at the evidence, now the evidence in this case came from that witness stand, and it's from all the exhibits up there. When you look at all of that, we've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that that defendant is guilty of manslaughter. To prove the crime of manslaughter, the state must prove the following 2 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. Number 1, Marquise McLaughlin is dead. No issue with that. Unfortunately, number 2, Michael Draca intentionally committed an act that caused the death of Marquise McLaughlin. Okay?
That's not even manslaughter,
Did
that's
he
murder,
intentionally
dude.
shoot him? Yes. The
Yeah.
way this case has been framed for you is whether or not this defendant was justified in shooting Marquise McLaughlin. But I'm going to frame it a little differently because based on the evidence, and really here's the million-dollar question. We've heard so much evidence, okay? But here's the million-dollar
manslaughter
question you need
Google
to
slide.
ask yourself. Was this defendant justified in shooting
I
a
love the
man that
manslaughter
came out
Google
to
slide.
protect his family while he's retreating, while he was unarmed? That's the million-dollar question. It was the most perfect shot he could take. Hit him right here, traveled through his lung, through his heart, rested on the other side. The most perfect shot he could take. Didn't hit him in the toe, foot, knee, calf, thigh, stomach. The most perfect shot.
He is right.
Did he reasonably believe, as Marquise McLaughlin was backing
You're really
up
thinking.
and turning to go
We're
into the store,
We're getting it.
that he was
going.
about to die? Because that's what that instruction says. Did the defendant reasonably believe he was going to die as Michael McLaughlin backs away when that firearm comes out? Did the defendant reasonably believe he was about to suffer great bodily harm? Was he about to be beaten to a pulp as Michael McLaughlin went backwards? Was he about to die? Was this defendant about to die or be beaten to a pulp when he took the first step back? Absolutely not. What about the second step back? Absolutely not. He's getting farther back. What about the third step back? Absolutely not. What about when he turns to go to the store? Absolutely not. And when you look at those still photographs, you'll see that Michael McLaughlin's foot is facing where he wants to go. And the only reason his eyes are on that defendant is because he's looking at the firearm that's about to kill him. His entire body is saying, I give up, I'm leaving. And pay attention to this, which I'm sure you already have. When the defendant's on the ground, you could see both Robert Castelli and Michael McLaughlin start to move before the gun comes out. They both simultaneously recognize that he's pulling a firearm. And before that gun is even out, Michael McLaughlin is retreating. Watch the video, you'll see it. And when the gun's out, he's in full retreat, and he can't go back any farther because that car's there, and that's when he takes his turn to go to the store. That's exactly what you see on the video. Yeah. Michael McLaughlin
you're safe.
is reacting perfectly to what happened. Now, can you argue that the defendant could have pulled out that firearm? Absolutely. We could even say that he was justified in pulling the gun. But that was it. There was no reason for him to shoot and kill Michael McLaughlin. It was over when that gun came out. So arguably, was he right in pulling the gun out? Sure, but could he have killed him? No, because he wasn't about to die. He's holding a firearm. He's holding the weapon that ends the whole thing. How could he reasonably believe he was about to die?
Yo, was he smiling just then?
The whole thing. How could he reasonably believe he was
about
to die?
No, he wasn't. I made that shit up.
That's why it's not justifiable use of deadly force. You know what Marquise McLaughlin's guilty of? He's guilty of loving and trying to protect his family.
You kept saying
He died
Michael.
because of it. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter. Thank you.
State of Florida versus Michael Draka, case number 1809851CF, as to the charge of manslaughter. May the jury find as follows as to the defendant in this case. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter as charged.
Prison!
Michael Draka's sentencing date is set for October 10th, 2019. The prosecution have asked for the maximum sentence of 30 years in prison.
Good. Give it. Let's find out how long it's been. You missed the end. Let's see. Let us see. Sentence. Illinois Appeals Court. He tried to appeal it. Freak. Opinion. He is still in jail to this day. Thank God. Okay, can I... How long? Oh. 20 years. Boo! He only went to prison for 20 years. It said 30, didn't it?
Have asked for the maximum sentence of 30 years.
Boo! Boo! Go to jail for 10 more years. Boo. Okay. We have watched our true crime, and it is 10 p.m. Ew, yeah, only 20. Gross. Okay. So, stream today was a bit of a nightmare. I'm very sorry about my broken microphone, my broken internet. And that's it, actually. Wibbly would put him in jail for 30 years. Yes, we'll make him judge attire next time. I'm just kidding. I don't know how to do that. I am impressed with my craftsmanship of his pipe, though. Look at that. That's a damn good pipe. That's a fucking pipe, bro. Anyway, I will look for somebody to raid. I don't expect anybody, though, to be honest. It is hot in here. Okay, actually, Yeah, no. Duck blood! It's Clitter Us. No, it might just be my computer, because I tried to mess with my, antenna thingies. Thank you. And it fixed it, kind of. Every time I even breathed in its direction, it stopped working, but we don't need to talk about it. Alright. Duck Detective in real life! Oh good, okay. Thank God. That's the least it could do. Okay, so I'm tired. Hot, mostly. And there's no one to raid, and I'm too lazy to look. And I want to turn on my fan so fucking bad. You are welcome for stream. Thank you for writing out this hiatus with me. Boo hiatus. We all hate hiatus. I might look for videos or ask for suggestions or whatever for next week as well, because I think I'm going to continue the R hiatus through next week. Because I kind of didn't really break on Monday. So I will see everybody tomorrow for more Mario Kart. Who's excited for that? I am. And I'll see y'all then. Bye-bye.